hold on. Let me just get this better, maybe? I don't know. Hi, guys. Oh my gosh, I was going to say happy Saturday. It's not happy Saturday. Lighting is going to be weird in here just for a little bit, okay? Just until I don't know, it just looks really, looks like I have a Vaseline filter over the camera. I do not, just dirty. I have a new phone, but this is not the new phone. This is a little thing that you learn. Sorry, it's just me again. Anyhow, little thing that you learn with YouTube. I have a new phone. However, I set this video up ahead of time, scheduled it, and scheduled the class last night. The Winter Traveler's Notebook Kit, the January setup last night. Set those ahead of time, about, I don't know, a week ahead of time, a couple days ahead of time. And the way that YouTube works is you have to be going live from the same device that you scheduled from. So, new phone, but can't use it yet until after tonight, and then I can switch it over. So anyhow, I think my phone is just about ready for an overhaul. It's actually ready to get handed down to Sam, our younger son, which he's very excited about that. Okay, guys, hello, welcome, happy Saturday, happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, it's not Saturday. It's that weird time of year between Christmas and New Year's where it's like, what day is it? What hour is it? Can I still eat all the food and pretend like it doesn't have any calories? Can I still drink any time of day that I want? Can I spend all day in my pajamas? Can I continue to watch Hallmark Christmas movies all day and all night? Can I binge watch? Can we binge watch Yellowstone until the wee hours of the morning like we did last night until about 1:30 a.m.? Anyhow, it's that weird time of year. So it is Wednesday night, and everyone, welcome. I'm going to just quickly check the chat just so I can see who's here, okay? Let's see. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Scrapinology. JK, we're getting closer to the 2310. Yes, we are. I'll talk about that one in a second. Christina said, yes, it's hump day. Hi, Linda and Missy. Scrapped NH. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you. Yes, still winter break. Lisa Elaine. Hi, Pam. Anita. Anita is here from Cole Harbor, Nova Scotia. Oh, my goodness. I've kind of been up in that neck of the woods. Manitoba? Is that right? Manitoba? I think like near Halifax, right? Manitoba's north of Halifax. I get some of my Canadian places mixed up when I go up and teach with Crop and Create. So I think Manitoba though. Yes, Jeanette said happy almost New Year. Let's see. Am I what? Are you in island mode? Me? Am I in island mode? Because of this? I'm not in island mode. These are not pajamas. Just a little, jacket that has a little red in it. So I thought I'd pull it out for, I thought I would pull it out for tonight since it's still kind of the holidays. Island mode will be beginning of February, Terry. That's when we go to Hawaii. Nick, my husband, has a business there every year. So that's definitely a perk. So that's where we'll be. But getting ready for the Rose Bowl mode, which we leave for Friday morning. The Rose Bowl, we're very excited about that again this year. Let's see. Mimi has her hot tea, ice water, snacks, and she's in her jammies ready to roll. Well, I have water and wine, so I can't do snacks while I'm, doing this because it doesn't work so well for me to be chewing. Hi, Greasy Creates. Oh my gosh, Denise, Yellowstone, love it. Yes, we just started watching it. The whole, not even just the new season, but we just started watching the whole series. So it's another one of those like train wreck of a family shows. Similar to Succession, definitely kind of has the Succession vibes, except instead of on Wall Street, it is on, it's in Montana. Let's see, but yes, we are loving it. Hi, Francis, nice to see you. Hi, Marie. Marie, both your orders shipped yesterday. And also, Marie, congratulations on winning the grand prize at 3 Craft Chicks. That was so fun that you won the house blanket. It was so fitting, right? Let's see. Anita says, catching you live, though it's almost sleep time here for me. Yes, it's 6:30 my time. I am in the Mountain Time Zone. I live in Utah, and you guys are all over the world, right? I saw somebody that just said, New Zealand catching live for the first time. So I love that. Welcome to you. Lisa, 4th day is Christmas. Still time to eat and drink all the things. Yes. And then we'll pay for it after the first of the year, right? When we get on the scale and go, oh my gosh, what did I do? Let's see. Another Cole Harbor, Nova Scotia listed here. I love that. So Melissa and her Cat's Adventures, do you know the other person that's on from Cole Harbor? Just curious. Let's see. Yes, it's just floral. Um, let's see. Create and Play with Renee is Alberta. Hi, Abby from Australia. Yes, we're super excited, Christina, to go to the Rose Bowl again. University of Utah, that's where Nick and I both went to college. That's where we met. They are going for the second year in a row, which is very exciting. Pac-12 champs, second year in a row. So we are very excited about that. We are taking Harvey, our RV, again, and we will be in the tailgate lot. It'll be lots of fun. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it's 12:30 in the afternoon in Sydney, Australia. Very warm, yes. Northern Hemisphere, we're very cold. Well, I shouldn't say we. Everyone in the Northern Hemisphere. Cold here in Utah and Southern Hemisphere. Yes, generally a little bit warmer, right? Um, let's see. Have I seen 1883? Terry, I have not. I heard 1883 is the prequel and we can watch that. And then something about like 1923 is another one. Yes, we're just getting started. Although we're, I don't know, halfway through season 2 now, I think. Oh, it's so binge watchable. Let's see. Yes, Mimi said, thanks so much for doing this on a Wednesday night. Guys, I have to apologize that I skipped out last Tuesday. That was not my plan, but you know, sometimes just some things come up and something just came up for a whole week and it was what it was. So, but we are here tonight and I couldn't not, last time we were together was December 14th. So I couldn't not, you know, have us get together one more time before the end of the year since we won't be getting together this Saturday. Okay. We'll talk about that too. Karen said sick over Christmas, so no issues. Yeah, sick over Christmas. Same here. It's just what happens. It's when life, your body is trying to tell you to slow down and you don't listen. And finally, your body says, okay, guess what? I'm going to make you listen. And then you have to listen. So sometimes forced relaxation is a good thing. And that's what I kind of was going through. So yes, I was in absolutely no shape to be doing a live last Tuesday. So I appreciate you guys giving me some leeway there. April says hello from Washington. Weather is crazy in Texas. Christina said 51 degrees, expecting rain. So here in Utah, we've had a ton of snow today. We have had the craziest winter. We've had so much snow so far. It's crazy. Hi, Valerie. Yes, Valerie also is from Utah, so she knows it's been crazy snow. Let's see, you guys. I think I am going to probably get it started. Hi, Judith K. Judith K, I emailed you back today. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it. If any of that didn't make sense, just please reach out again and I will clarify as much as I can. All right, friends, I am going to 33 in Reno. Yes, a little chilly. 16 in North Florida. My gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, there's some weird, crazy weather happening. Horrible things in kind of the eastern part of the U.S. with so much snow and people just not doing well. So I'm hoping that everyone here is doing well and your family and friends are also doing well as well. Someone from Kentucky. Hi, Sheila. 60, 79 on Christmas Day. Jeanette said only lasted 2 days. Gabby, yes, Buffalo. I know. Horrible. All right, friends. So let's talk about a few things. First of all, why don't I say hello again and let me introduce myself if we haven't met. My name is Layle Konkar, and normally I say on Saturdays, this is where we are, on my YouTube channel. Now, every once in a while, we do a weeknight, and weeknights are fun because when we do a weeknight, it's a little bit different, right? A little bit more, especially this time of year, a little bit more festive. I like to sometimes have an adult beverage with me when I am doing a nighttime live like that. So I have a little red wine there. But when we're done, I'll probably have had 2 sips because, you know, I talk too much. I just don't want to spill it. But anyhow, so yes, normally we are here on Saturdays when I'm not traveling and we do what I like to call creative listing. So a couple days before I provide 3 list topics and I tell you what kind of products I'm going to be using. And then we get together and I list. I make lists, I add fun stickers and washi and all kinds of things like that. Some of you list along with me. Some of you are working on other projects. Some of you are working a job. Some of you are babysitting, doing chores around the house, whatever it is. So some of you just like to hang out and chat and participate in the live chat and just kind of be social. It all started during COVID when there wasn't a lot of in-person social going on, and we've kind of just built this really fun, neat little community. And some of you guys keep finding me, and I'm not sure how. I love it. We went through a fun little exercise somebody suggested a couple weeks ago, maybe on the 14th, that you guys in the chat say how you found me. And it was so fun to read those. Some of you, I have taught classes in person, and that's how we met. Others of you just find me on YouTube. Others of you have friends tell you, have told you, hey, come check this out. And it's always fun to see that. Kristen said she's here finally. Oh, you're nice, Kristen. Kristen said I look great in red. Red's not my favorite. But this time of year, sometimes I will wear it. Thank you, though. Create and Play with Renee said, we met, I love this, when I was teaching at CKU, Creating Keepsakes University in Provo, Utah, when I worked for Scenic Route. And she said that was back in 2006. That's a lot of years ago. I was like 10 then, I'm sure. That was like, what, 17 years? Oh my gosh. Is that right? 17. Almost 17 years ago. Holy cow, that's crazy. But yeah, some of you, we go way back, don't we? Let's see. Yo Jimbo 2000 said, I found you when I searched for December Daily albums. Yes, some of you know me from December Daily as well. My annual December documented project kit, which just sold out the other day. Sold out December 25th. In fact, I sold the last one December 25th, which you guys, I increased my numbers significantly for 2022. And I got to be honest with you, I was a little nervous. Okay, I was a lot nervous. And I sold through all of them. So I was so thrilled and excited. So thank you guys. Those of you that participated in that with me, thank you. Okay, Lorraine found me through my dear friend Vicki Booten, which I love that. You guys know I love Vicki. Love, love, love that. Okay, friends. So, oh yes, Mimi, when I taught at Creative Escape in Los Gatos. Yep. Terry through Simple Stories, and Beth also through Vicki. I love that. Love that. Okay, you guys. So let's just talk about a couple of housekeeping items before I flip the camera and we start our listing. Okay. We have a couple of winners from last week. Now, last week when we were live, generally when I do giveaways, I do them after the fact. So I announce the giveaways when we are live, but then I wait until right before we're together again to pick the winners. And I pick the winners from the comments left on the video. So not the chat, not the live chat. There's generally way too much going on there for me to try to go back and sort through. But the comments left on the video. So it's always a really good idea just to make yourself a little note or do a little mental reminder that when we're done with a video, that you go right back and leave a comment. I will have you this time tell me, this is a hard one. One of our list topics tonight is things I did well this year. Okay. It's important that we document those kinds of things, especially at the end of the year. What did you do well? So that is one of the lists we will be doing tonight. But for tonight's giveaways, I'd like you, when we're done, to go leave a comment on the video and tell me something that you did well this year. You know what? It could be that you cleaned out your craft room. It could be that you set a goal to walk and you walked. It could be that you watched Yellowstone really well. There's no criteria. You're the one who decides what you did well. So you just tell me what you did well, and I will draw giveaways, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But we did giveaways last time we were together. We did a few that were live giveaways, and the live ones are always fun. But then I also did some for those of you that couldn't watch live that can participate as well. So 2 giveaways that I did after the fact. One was an assortment of, I never even got a chance to you guys use this or even show it because I sold out of it. This was a holiday collection from 49 and Market called Holiday Wishes. And I put together a little bundle of a couple things that I had left. So we have the die cuts, the laser elements, the laser cuts, and then the big box of washi. So that I drew right before we got started. I drew just a random comment, and the winner of that is Natasha Cairns, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but Natasha, C-A-I-R-N-S. So Natasha, if you're here, congratulations. You guys don't ever have to be present to win. I always reply to your comment on the video and then tell you what to do. So Natasha, if you're here, congratulations. If not, then I left her a comment and she knows what to do. The second prize was something that I used last week, although you don't get a used one, you get a new one. And it is the Swatch This Washi stamp set. So I'm going to show you, if you didn't catch us last week, Oh, I know where that is. It's still in my things I haven't unpacked from when I went to Washington. Was one of those. Brand new washi. I mean, brand new, unused. I've had that for a while. But we'll take a look at what I did with that because I used it last time we were together in a very different way than it's intended. So I drew one of the prizes. I drew a name for that one as well. And that one is Karen's. Oh, isn't that interesting? We kind of have two Karen's 592. So Karen's 592, if you are here, you won the washi tape stamp set. So congratulations to you. And if not, again, I left her a comment. I replied to her comment, so she knows what to do to claim that prize. All right, you guys. So I am going, oh, look at Spanish Whispers. Okay, Spanish Whispers. I don't think I have seen your name before because that is a very unique YouTube name. So hopefully, yeah, welcome. Yes, congratulations to those two winners. So you guys will still have prizes tonight, so don't be sad if you didn't win. I have 3 prizes tonight to give away. So let's talk one more thing about the listing schedule for the next couple of months. We will not be listing on Saturday, December 31st, right? Is that the 1st? Whatever the, now I'm thinking the 1st. Yes, we're not listing Saturday, December 31st because I will be at the Rose Bowl. Or I'll be out of town. So we will not be listing Saturday, December 31st. Our first listing session of 2023 will be January 7th, okay? That's a Saturday. So we're listing January 7th, January 14th, and January 21st, not the 28th. January 28th, I will be out of town. So those first 3 Saturdays in January we'll be listing. I sent that out as part of the email that I sent out earlier this week. So you have the full schedule for, I should say tentative schedule for January, February, March for our listing sessions. I also have posted that on my blog and I did that right before we started. So if you go to my website, which is laylebymail.com and click on blog, you will see that as the very first blog post. Now that's assuming that you're watching tonight. If you are watching the replay, just scroll a little bit until you see that blog post for our listing sessions for the first 3 months of 2023. Good news is I am around quite a bit in January and I am around quite a bit in March. February, I'm traveling a bit. So will be like 2 sessions February, but that's okay. So just so you know, that is what is going on. Let's see, April said, I just got my first TN yesterday. I'm so excited to play. I am very excited for you, April. I love that for you. Spanish Whisper said, just saw this live, first time here. Well, welcome. We love new people. And we're going to get listing here very quickly. So I'm going to rotate the camera. I will turn off the overhead lights. I'll turn on the studio lights and we're going to play. Okay? Actually, I better turn on the studio lights before I turn off the overhead lights because it will make it very difficult to see. So let me rotate the camera here. Let me pull down my shirt. Let me rotate the camera here real quick. There we go. And then I will turn off the overhead lights. All right. So for those of you that are new, we get together and do our creative listing every so often. I have a website, laylebymail.com. As I am working on my lists, I have, thank you, Colleen. I would have forgotten that. I know it would seem like if I do it every time, I always need to plug in my phone, but I just forget. I get other things on my mind. So always, Colleen, thank you so much for that reminder. Anyhow, as I am working with different products, I have links to those on my website. So if you are looking for anything that I'm using, generally you can find it on my website at laylebymail.com. If you are watching before the next video, I always have a link in this video to a page on my website that is what I'm using. So you can go to one spot and pretty much see everything. Hi, Gail Leek said, yay, caught you live. Terry, yes, thank you very much. Thumbs up. If you are here and watching, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up. That is always very, very helpful. And anytime you're watching anyone on YouTube or any social medias, the easiest way that you can support someone that costs nothing is just to give a thumbs up. So yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Elizabeth said, Colleen is a freaking rock star. She is. She always, always, always reminds me. Hi, Evalicious Crafts. Nice to see you. Bonnie, thanks for the thumbs up. All right, friends. So as we get started, I always like to start off by showing you the lists that we created when we were together last. Mariana said, wish I could give 10 thumbs up or more. Love you. Mariana, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. So sweet. All right. Hit the like button too. Is the like button and the thumbs up, are those two different things? I don't know. I know they are on Facebook, but I don't know. All right, so let's look at our lists from last week. We ended up doing 2 lists last week instead of 3. I got a little overzealous because last week, or when we were together on the 14th, I also combined our listing session with What's New Wednesday. Yeah, so we only got 2 lists done. We're not doing What's New Wednesday tonight. We'll do What's New Wednesday next week, where I'll have lots and lots and lots of fun things to show you. So we got 2 lists done last week. The first one was a gift list. So I made a list of gifts by person that I was giving for Christmas. If you joined me, it sounds like, yeah, the thumbs up and the like are the same. If you joined me last week when I did this list, I had all those boxes empty. I had not written anything in those boxes because I didn't want any little prying eyes in my family maybe to either be on live, like sometimes my husband Nick pops in and says hello. I didn't want him to see what I was giving him for Christmas. So after the live, I then filled out the list. Now I want to show you something, because if you were not with me, these cute little gift boxes that I created those little gift boxes out of something that you probably would not guess. Remember a minute ago and I showed you the Swatch This washi tape stamp set? This Swatch This washi tape stamp set is designed just for that, for you to swatch your washi. So you stamp in your traveler's notebook or stamp in any kind of notebook that you have. Nick, right. Nick says, I'm listening now, getting my list ready. Are you listening with us, honey? Okay, great. I can't wait to see your list when you're done. And I'm pretty sure that everyone else would love to see your list too. So let's see how that goes. We'll see how that goes, Nick. You guys don't, if you're new, don't be fooled by Nick. He does not list. He just thinks he's funny. All right. Although he did list once for me. Anyhow, that's a whole other story. But back to this. So washi, Swatch This washi. This is one of my stamp sets. It is designed for you to swatch your washi. But guess what I did? I created the little gift boxes on my list here using stamps from the Swatch This washi stamp set. Uh-oh, he's coming in.
I have a list.
Oh, no, that's my list. That is my list for things that we need to do to get ready for our trip, you silly. That's not your list. That's even in my writing.
This was my list. This is
Oh.
what I'm...
That's your list of things that you have to do, right? Yes. Yeah. Yes, Evalicious Craft. Sometimes I do a honey-do list for Nick. Yeah, and sometimes I decorate it because it's just fun that way. Anyhow, but I made those little gift boxes using the little bows. So it looks like I used that little bow. And then I used the boxes. So the boxes are designed for you to put your washi in. But I thought, what are some other fun things I could do with that stamp set? And that is what I did. I'm gonna just look for something very quickly, friends. When I was out of town last week, do you suppose it is here? No, it's not going to be here. That's all right. I did a couple of fun other things with that stamp set, but I don't know. We'll do something like that later because I'm not sure where that little example is. All right. Yes, fun gift list. Now, what we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago when I did that list is this is a fun way to remember, right? It's a fun just list to make to remember and to document what you gave for gifts. But it's also a great reference point. So next year, if I'm like, ooh, what did I give Sam last year? I can come to this list and look at Sam and go, oh yeah, I remember what I gave to Sam. So a little bit of a time capsule list, right? But it's also functional because it will remind me next year. Hi, Mindy. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. All right. Next up, we did a pretty quick one. This was a this or that list. So usually a couple of times a year, we do a this or that list. I always do a holiday edition. And I come up with whatever the options are, and then we do them together. So this or that, line down the center, and the options: eggnog or hot chocolate, today's hits or classic Christmas, fake tree or real tree. And I write both on there, but then I just circled whichever my kind of preferences, and then use some of the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils just to add a little bit of color. So circled with a black pen and then circled with a little colored pencil. Super easy. Cut a piece of, cut a little strip of pattern paper, a 6x8 pad piece from a 6x8 pad from Vicky's Evergreen and Holly collection. And that was it. There you go, right? Super, super, super simple. So not all the lists have to be like super involved like this. Now, a lot of my lists are, because I think that's fun, but sometimes you just want something quick and dirty, and that's what that was. Okay, so we have 3 lists that we will be doing tonight, you guys. Our first list is, I think I called it This Christmas. And it's just kind of a way to document some of your memories, list some of your memories from this Christmas season. Now, if you celebrate Hanukkah, if you celebrate Kwanzaa, if you don't celebrate Christmas at all, you could change your list accordingly. So my list is going to be this Christmas. I am going to kind of document my December. And this was really easy for me to come up with my list ahead of time in my handy dandy workbook. I knew super easy for me to know what needed to go on my list, because some of you have asked, when I do my December daily, right? Here's my December daily for the year. I am all the way through day 23, which very proud of myself for that, because I went for about a week with not doing anything when I wasn't feeling well, but finished up the 23rd today. So this is primarily how I document December, but it's also really easy for me to come back and sort through or look through all of each day that I've documented to come up with just a quick and simple list. Because even though I document it in this format, I also like to document it in my traveler's notebook. So just basically it's going to be a 2-page spread. All right. Let's see. Mimi just asked a question. She said, sometimes I try to copy Layle exactly, and sometimes I go rogue. What do others do? And Karen piped in and said both. So interesting. If you guys are watching live and you want to pop in the chat and answer Mimi's question, do you usually kind of do what I do, or sometimes you go rogue and totally, for example, on this list that we're about to do, if you're listening with me, are you going to do kind of a this Christmas or December documented, or are you going to go rogue? Mariana's going to go rouge. I know that was, I'm sure, a little typo. Tammy does a mixture of both. Evalicious Crafts have put her December daily and any memory keeping on hold. And I don't know what that word means. It's gone now, so I can't see it. Sarah said, I get inspired by what Layle does and carry techniques into my journaling. All right, very good. So it sounds like a mixture of different things, right? So this is going to be a 2-page list. I am at the very end of my traveler's notebook insert. I have a single page here. I have a spread here, and then I have that last page. So right now I am going to skip this single page because I want this to be a 2-page list. All right. So here we are. I am going to use Vicky's Evergreen and Holly collection again for this list. Other than my about last month for December, which I will do when we're together the first week of January, this will be kind of the last Christmas list that I do for this season. So I just have all this product kind of on my tray. So 2-page list, and I know I would like to use some pattern paper as a base. You know what could be fun? This is what I'm going to do. We actually talked about this a little bit last time. And I talked about how I could use this paper, and then you guys gave some great ideas, and I'm going to borrow one of your ideas that someone gave me last week. So this paper is 6x8 because it comes from a 6x8 pad. This, my insert, is a standard wide, which means it's 5 by 8.25. So if I need to take this and make it 5, my problem here is if I need to cut a 1/2 inch from this side and a 1/2 inch from this side, I will lose part of the wreaths, and I don't want to lose them. So guess what I can do? Yes, dear?
Did you happen to turn your Bluetooth off?
Oh, no.
Okay. It's okay.
Okay, guys, sorry. So this will be a little deja vu for some of you that have been with me before. When I say we, I mean Nick. When I am teaching like this, and Nick is starting to do some things in our RV, who we call Harvey, the Bluetooth. I use Bluetooth when I am filming on YouTube. When Nick turns Harvey on, the RV, my phone connects to Harvey. And so you guys lose my sound. Now, Nick just popped in and said, hey, did you happen to tune? Actually, it doesn't use Bluetooth. I use Wi-Fi when I film, but my Bluetooth is on. So that's what will happen. So Nick will figure that out because he just said, oh, we'll figure it out. All right, here we go. I am going to fussy cut these. And there are a couple of different ways that I can fussy cut these. You can see I already started with my larger scissors. And generally, I will get as much of the cutting done as I can with my larger scissors, like that. And then I will come in with my little fussy cutting scissors. Now, when I fussy cut these, it's not going to be super fussy cutty because that would take me hours, all those little branches. But I'm just gonna fussy cut them just a little bit, and I will use my fussy cutting scissors to do that. So this is probably one of my biggest tips when you are fussy cutting. Start out by doing what I just did. Cut whatever it is you're cutting from. I cut these guys away from that full page. It's going to be much easier for me to work with these guys, these smaller guys, as opposed to trying to do my fussy cutting on a larger piece of paper. So in this case, on a 6x8 piece of paper. Sometimes if you're trying to fussy cut something from a 12x12 paper, oh my gosh, cut it out first. Just kind of do a rough cut like I'm doing. Cut that away from the paper. It'll make it so much easier for you to do that if you are cutting away from, you're just doing your fussy cutting on something small versus trying to, maneuver a large 12x12 piece of paper. Let's see. Oh yes, Evilicious Crafts dealing with the C word, the pandemic word. I think lots of people, Evilicious Crafts going through that right now. Between that and RSV and the flu, it's just a trifecta out there right now. So not very fun. So I hope that you are taking care of yourself and that you feel better soon. And anyone that is, going through any kind of sickness or any kind of hard time right now, take care of yourself, right? We have to take care of ourselves. And that was prime example for me this last week or so. Just got totally run down and sick, and that's what happens. And then your body forces you to take a break. Let's see. Let's see. I missed something, but that's okay. Oh, Karen, bad sinus infection. Oh, yuck. Yep, it's just that time of year where we get sick. Now, I have a question. I would imagine those of you that are in the Southern Hemisphere, New Zealand, Australia, that are with us tonight, you guys probably, your sick time is in the summer, right? Probably spring and summer. Your autumn, right? So probably, I don't know, the other 6 months of the year. All right, so there we go. That is just a little bit of fussy cutting, right? Look at the difference. It just give it a little bit more of a, It's just a little bit more of a finished look as opposed to that. Now, nothing wrong with that. So if I love fussy cutting, I find it very relaxing. So if I was at a crop or something and it got to be late at night and I still wanted to stay up and work, that might be where I start fussy cutting because I don't have to use my brain. I can still be social, but I can, also still be getting some stuff done. I can still be creative-ish by doing my fussy cutting. The little scissors I'm using here, you guys, these are fussy cutting scissors. I have these on my website. What's nice about these is they are spring loaded. So see how they bounce back like that? They're spring loaded. And you have a very short distance here between the blade and the kind of the top of the scissor itself. Let's see if you can see that. Blade and the top of the scissor itself. So even with a small pair of scissors like this, look at how much more control I get because my blade is just that long. So as opposed to something like this long, it's much easier for me to get in little small areas with the proper tool, right? Proper tool for the job is always really important. So even if you don't have fussy cutting scissors and you're doing fussy cutting, get the smallest pair of scissors that you have. I promise if you hate fussy cutting, it's because you've been trying to use scissors that have a 6-inch blade. No wonder that is a lot harder to do. So grab the smallest pair of scissors that you have and start your cutting if you are doing any kind of fussy cutting. Now, if you like to binge watch things like, I don't know, maybe Yellowstone, that's a great, if you feel like you've been watching, binge watching Yellowstone for, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 straight days. Oh, I already did that one, I think. I want to come in a little bit closer up here. If you've been binge watching forever and you feel like you're not being very productive, well, get out your stamps or get out your little fussy cutting things, whatever it is, and then you can still work, but you don't have to pay as much attention, right? Because it's hard to pay attention when you're trying to binge watch. You don't want to have to hit rewind a bunch of times. So I'm just doing my little fussy cutting here. I'm going to look up at the chat real quick just to make sure. Joy said, how do the fussy cutting scissors work for left-handed people? I will ask you guys, does anyone here use the fussy cutting scissors if you're left-handed? I know that some scissors, how do I say this? I know some scissors are difficult for left-handed people to work with. And I don't know if that's like the thumb placement on this guy. There's really no left or right side of the scissor. So I would assume it would be the same. It'd be the same action. I hold them in between. I kind of hold them right here in the palm of my hand. And it's just my thumb and that finger. You can see they're barely moving when I move that. So I would assume, I don't know, I'm not left-handed, so I guess I'd be doing the same thing here, right? I guess I'd kind of be doing this way. I don't know. That's hard. That is hard. Someone said, Denise said, Kevin Costner has my full attention. Oh my gosh, that man, I know, right? He is, I tell you, he is pretty darn good looking for his age. That would be a fun list. Nice looking older men. Now, older men, here's the thing, you guys, we're all a different age. So some of you, Kevin Costner might be on your nice looking younger man list. Actually, I don't even know how old he is. He's probably not as old as I think he is, as I feel like he is. But that would be a fun list. Nice looking younger men list. And I don't know if we have any male listeners, or your list could even be nice looking older females or nice looking younger females. Like, hello, Jane Fonda. Oh, yes. George Clooney. Yes, yes, yes. I would agree with you there. That's a handsome man. But yeah, it could be nice looking older women, younger women, older men, younger men, whatever it may be. Right? We can appreciate the nice looking people in the media, right? Oh, you know who else? Speaking of nice looking in the media, and even if you don't watch, even if you do not watch this particular news program, oh my gosh, he's on CNN. He has white hair. Oh yes, Colleen, there we go. Actors who have aged well. And that could be a two-part list. So let me go here to my handy dandy notebook. I am going to our list ideas section and actors, actresses that have aged well. Actors, actresses, aged well. And I will put Colleen's name next to that because I love to give you guys credit when the list idea comes from you. I know, Terry said it's really not fair how well men age compared to most women. Yeah, I know, it's true, right? It is so, so true. Mariana. And the reverse, actors who are hot, we are going to jail for even thinking that. Barry Manilow, Joy, I remember that about you. Yes, that you recently, I don't know how recently that was, this summer maybe? You saw Barry Manilow in concert and you had backstage passes, right? Joy is a singer, if you guys did not know that. Joy sings the national anthem at baseball games sometimes, don't you, Joy? That was a Major League Baseball, didn't you? I think, right? Brett Michaels, Karen, of course we would expect you to say that. Anderson Cooper, there we go, Ms. L. Anderson Cooper. All right, yes, it could also be those who have not aged well because sometimes you see some women and you think, oh, did not age so well. Robert Wagner, oh, yes. Tom Cruise, yeah, or not aged at all. Seriously, right? Not aged at all. And we all know that there's a little help. Some of them have a little help in their not looking aged, right? All right, so all of that, I have cut out my little wreaths. Now, I think what I'm going to end up doing, you guys, I'm going to do this list a little. Rob Lowe. Oh, yes, Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe. Kathy said you have an amazing memory, Layle. So Kathy, the reason I remember that is that Joy posted a picture of that in the Facebook group. I could have met you 8,000 times in person, and sometimes I will not remember your name, but I can tell you a story that you told me when we met back in 2006 at CKU Provo when I was working for Simple Store or Scenic Route. Names are hard for me, but it's easy for me to put stories with people and remember. Yes, Susan Sarandon looks very good. Richard Gere, yes, yes, yes. All right. So normally, and this is just out of habit. Oh, Diane said Andrew McCarthy. Yes, Andrew McCarthy. Now we're starting to talk a little bit about like the Brat Pack. They called them the Brat Pack. So Rob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy, Judd, not Judd Hirsch, Judd Nelson. Sean Cassidy. Yeah. I'll tell you one that we've had this conversation before. Did not age too well. Leif Garrett. I was in a little movie as an extra with Leif Garrett when I was, I think, in 7th grade, and I had the biggest crush on him. If you had a crush on Leif Garrett, do yourself a favor. Don't Google him, okay? Don't Google him. Emilio Estevez, yes. Okay, so normally, when I do a 2-page list, normally I put the list on the left-hand side and then do my decorating or photos or what have you on the right-hand side. In this case, I need to flip that. The reason I need to flip that is because over here, when I started kind of laying out those little wreaths, well, I have so much that's happened in this Traveler's Notebook so far. It's starting to wrap, right? It's starting to wrap a little bit this way. Wrap, W-R-A-P, not wrap, R-A-P. But it's starting to wrap, and my little wreaths that are down here are going to have a hard time sticking. So I am going to put these over here. We will do my little wreaths like this. Now I could probably do something like that if I wanted. I could stagger them. So we just kind of made our own little embellishments, right? We just kind of made our own little embellishments by doing a little bit of fussy cutting. So we can overlap a little bit. There we go. So I will put just some things from this Christmas. I'll probably put one thing in each of those little wreaths. All right, so over here, 2-page spread. And so over here, I am going to add a photo. Now, this is really this is where my type A comes in so strongly. I really want the photo over here, but it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna put it over here. But before I do the photo, I want another piece of pattern paper. So let's go back to this tray. And let's look at some of the pattern papers in that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be a great, oh, that red polka dot would sure be nice. So this is Evergreen and Holly. I have it on my website. It is linked in the description box of the video under that little, I'm looking for one more. So, okay. So that would be fun, but I think that's too much. Woo, too much, right? Too much of that and that. I need a background for my photo. So I need something a little bit more subtle, like that polka dot. Oh, now I don't remember what I'm saying. Oh, I like that. But the back side of the wreaths, let me find the second wreaths paper because the back side of it, aha, that candy cane stripe might be the candy cane stripe. I kind of like that. All right, so let's put this off to the side again for a second. And, oh yes, that's what I want. I want that candy cane stripe. So I need to trim that down. That will be the base for my photo on the left page. Trim. Here we go. Move this out of the way just a little bit. I don't want those to move because I have not adhered them down yet. All right, so 6x8. I use 6x8 pads almost exclusively in my list in my traveler's notebook because they're the perfect size. I just need to trim them down a little bit. They're also the perfect size in that the scale of the pattern has been reduced to fit a 6x8 pad. So for example, these guys, if I was working with a 12x12 piece of paper and I was fussy cutting those from a 12x12 piece of paper, it wouldn't work for the width in my traveler's notebook because they would be larger. Those wreaths would be larger on a piece of 12x12. Generally, if it's a 6x8 pad or a 6x6 pad, the manufacturer has scaled that pattern down. So you have patterns that work a little bit easier in a smaller space. So I need to narrow that down, and I always start out at 4 3/4 wide. The reason I do 4 3/4 wide is because my inserts, I'll show you a brand new one, are standard wide. They are 5 by 8.25. So this started out as 6x8. If I trim to 4 3/4 wide, I end up with a nice border all the way around. So this guy will be right here. That will be my piece on the base for that page. I'm missing something. I'm missing your question. I'm missing your question, Mariana. So I'm not sure what you said, but I think you guys are answering it for her. So good. All right. So I printed out a photo ahead of time. I actually printed out 2 versions of the photo. One of the videos that I promised I would get you guys by the end of 2022, which is not going to happen. It's probably going to be within the first week of 2023. So I wasn't anticipating on being ill, but I have started it. And that video, that how-to video, is how to use the Epson Creative Print app. The Epson Creative Print app works with the Epson PictureMate PM400 printer, which is the printer that I use almost exclusively in my traveler's notebooks. And that app, I will do a how-to video in the next probably 2 weeks because it needs to be after the first of the year when I get back. But I will show you a lot of the little tips and tricks and techniques of using that app. How to print smaller photos, how to print multiple smaller photos on one photo, how to mess with the margins on the photo if you are using a white borders and things like that. I bring all of that up. Yes, I know some of you have bought that because of me, because it's what I use. I bring that up because I have printed 2 photos on that printer, and they are both printed on a 5x7, okay? Both on a 5x7, but you'll notice the one on the left has a narrower border around it than the one on the right. Pamela just said she looked for one but could not get it. That I see them go, and I just watch them on Amazon, but I see them come in and out pretty quickly on Amazon. I think it's probably just supply chain issues. So Keep watching on Amazon or wherever you like to shop. Most of my shopping ends up being on Amazon because of the convenience. Let's see. So yeah, you should be able to find it soon. Michelle said, I just bought the Epson XP 15,000 because of you and Allie. Yeah, the XP 15,000 is what I use for my larger format photos. So if I want to print a full, on my traveler's notebook, a full photo, generally I will use that printer. There is a trick to do that with the PictureMate. But generally I use that other larger photo for that, or larger printer if I want to do, 8x10s or something like that. Anyhow, I have printed the same photo twice. You'll notice, like I said, narrower border on the left one than there is the right one. I didn't have to use Photoshop to do that. There's a really easy way to do that using that app. So that is one of the things I will cover when I finish that video and publish it. But what I wanted to show you, those two, the reason why I did that, these are 5-inch wide photos. Generally, your 5-inch wide photo will fit on, you would think it would fit, I should say, you would think it would fit on your standard wide insert. Let me go with a fresh one just so it's a little bit easier to illustrate this. 5x7 photo, 5x7 insert. Generally, I have to trim down a 5x7 photo just a tad, a few millimeters, because even though the pages are 5x7, I lose a couple millimeters in the center from the staples. All right, so usually if I do something like this, I have to trim it down a little bit. But if I trim this down a little bit, guess what happens? I all of a sudden have no white border, and I want a white border on my photo. So this is what I did. I just did something very easy in that app, and I'll show you how to do that once that video comes out. Or if you know Photoshop, you can do this easily. But see how this is a much wider white border. So now I can take that and I can trim that down and still have a white border. Let's see, Evalicious Crafts, what paper do you use for photo printing? I use one for 4x6. I use one for 5x7. I use one for my 8.5 by 11. The easiest way for me to tell you, Betty just asked about the 5x7. If you guys go to my blog, so go to laylebymail.com and click on blog, you'll see a lot of posts this month from my December dailies. When I'm using a 4x6 photo paper, I have that one linked. When I'm using a 5x7, I have that one linked. So that will show you which ones I use. That's probably the easiest way for me to tell you. Nancy said, good night and happy 2023, everyone. Good night, Nancy. I know you guys were starting to get a little bit late on the East Coast. So if you have to, sign off, well, then yes, go get some sleep. All right, I need to narrow it a little bit. So if I just take, let's see, how about if I take 1/8 of an inch off of all 4 sides? Then I'll still have a nice white border. And I'll have an even border all the way around. All righty, so now let's grab that. Let's grab my red paper. Oh, where'd my red paper go? Oh boy. It happens every time, you guys. It happens every time. All right, where did it go? Where'd my sheet of red paper go that I cut down? Did it fall on the ground? Is it in here? Oh, where did it go, friends? I need that. All right. Usually one of you tell me it's under my book. Oh, there it is. Haha, there we go. Oh yeah, you can see it peeking out. All right, there we go. Thank you guys. All right, so let's see how that is looking. Now what I didn't factor in, guess what I did? This is 4 3/4. And see how it's a little wide? It's a little wide. Maybe it could be a little wide. That'd probably be okay. Let's look. Let's see what this might look like over here. So this would be like that. That'll work. And then it's just kind of like a little top and bottom. Yes, we'll do that. I am going to work on this side of my list, what I call off the page, because it will be much easier for me to work on it here on a flat surface And then when I have it done, I will be able to come back and then adhere it into my insert. All right, so there we go. Let's think about, if we're back over here, I was going to use, but I don't have a ton of room to do that unless I get them all nice and really close. Maybe that's what I'll do, because I wanted to use a stamp up there. Stamp. This is one of my stamp sets. This is the December documented stamp set that was included in my December documented mini book project kit this year. And I had some left over. So these are limited edition. When they're gone, they will be gone forever because they were part of that project kit. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do stamp December. That's in my writing. And then I'll stamp documented. So I'll do that right there. And then that'll be a fun little title to use. So now that we're talking about that stamp set, you guys, that is one of the prizes for tonight. Okay. Or I should say for this video. It doesn't have to be tonight, but I should say for this video. The way that you participate in the prizes, let me just make sure I wrote that one down. I didn't. So there are 4 prizes tonight. That's December doc stamp set. Okay. That is the first one. The way that you participate, you leave a comment on the video when it's over. And then when we are together last, I will, when we are together last, oh my gosh. You can tell I was thinking about this and trying to talk at the same time. That does not work in my brain. My brain doesn't work like that. When we are together next, on January 7th, then I will announce the 4 winners. So that is one of the prizes. April said, yes, she got that in her kit, the December documented, my December documented kit. All right, so let's see. I need documented. Will it fit there? Nope, too big. I can use that guy. I am using the Fiskars layered stamp set. I'm not layered. Oh my goodness, Layle. I am using the Fiskars stamp blocks. Sorry, there are 4, and they nestle. They nestle all together in one little package. The brain is not working so well this evening. Clearly it is not working so well. All right, there we go. Kind of centered-ish. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Pretty close. So documented will go here, and then I'm going to do December above it. Now, I think that I'm going to use black. I'm going to use black, and I know there's so many different colors that I could use, but I will be writing my list in those little wreaths. So I want to incorporate the black because that's what I'll be using to write. So I have my black ink. And I have my handy dandy stamp testing notebook, AKA a composition book. I always recommend that you test stamp first. You can make sure that you have it lined up correctly. If you're using alphabet stamps or a date stamp, you can make sure that it's spelled correctly or you have the correct date. You can even kind of test colors, right? So maybe I look at, well, black is fine. But maybe I use something like a green. I'm like, ooh, I don't like the way that looks at all. So I would switch it out instead of kind of ruining it here. That looks good. So I think we are a go. I am going to come back here. I am going to grab a little tool, which is a pencil board. So this is one of my products, a pencil board. A pencil board is a flat surface, okay? Flat surface, that is a piece of acrylic that is, oops, let's close that, 1/8 inch thick, has rounded corners. It is the size of the Traveler's Notebook inserts that we use. I am going to, even though I kind of have a flat surface right here already because I'm at the end of my insert, I'm still going to use it because that will give me a nice even flat surface. Pencil board is flat surface for you to stamp on or write on. If I was trying to stamp over here, I would definitely want to use a pencil board because I would want to take this and put it under here. That's giving me a flat surface to stamp on. My stamped image is not getting all messed up based on what is underneath what I'm stamping on. So that's a pencil board. As I am doing this, the pencil boards are etched, and when you get them, they are white. So you have little grids, but it's white. Mine is blue because I take a little bit of acrylic paint and paint it and then wipe off the excess acrylic. Those little grids are there so that if you need a larger stamping block, you could use the grids as your little lines to match things up, or to make sure that things are straight. All right, so we're here. This is where I'm going to stamp documented. Let me get this all inked up. And let's come up. That's pretty close. Oh, look what I did. Did you guys see what I did? I totally messed that up. That's okay because I can fix it. I'll show you how I can fix it. I'm going to try and see if I can fix it. But if I can't fix it, that is a-okay because I'll be able to fix it another way. Okay, let's see if I fixed it. Sorry, you get my my hair there in the way. Let's see if it fixed or if it's going to look a little bit too blurry. All right, you know what? It's not bad. It is not bad. Let me bring this up. I will bring this up and you can see it's a little bit fuzzy on the D and the O. See how that's a little bit fuzzy? But it's not bad. What I can do is take my black pen and I can just kind of fill in some of those little areas so it's not as fuzzy looking. I just kind of help it out a little bit, right? And then that looks good. If I had really messed that up and it really looked bad, then I could come back in and I could just either take a piece of white cardstock and put it on top of that page. I could take my white cardstock, put it on top of that page, and then do my stamping. Or I could even take a little piece of white cardstock and just stamp on it and put it right over that. So there's not much that we can't fix when we mess up stamping. But I actually kind of like it when I mess up sometimes. Karen said, you made your way into a new list of mine tonight. Well, I'm curious as to what way that is, Karen. But we can usually always fix things, friends. We can usually always fix things when we're stamping. All right, so there's December. And I will put that, I think, just right in the center. Yep, right in the center. Now, because I did my test stamp already over here, I can come back and do my test stamp here. Make sure that it looks good. Make sure there's no fuzzy lint on my stamp. I can also play around with placement. If I'm like, ooh, I wonder what it would look like if I was over here instead. There we go. And I might go, I don't like it so much because then there's a whole bunch of empty space there. So I will put it right there. That is my handwriting. Most of that stamp set, other than the documented, is my handwriting. It's always weird to me, personally, for me to use a stamp with my own handwriting, just because I could just write it. But you guys always say you want my handwriting in your stamp, so I do it. And then it's really weird when I see one of your projects with my writing in it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's weird. How did that happen? All right, so here we go. Ooh, golly, I'm a little butterfingers today. There we go, December documented. This guy's still going over here. All right, now these guys I need to get placed. I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. We'll still overlap some. But I want to go ahead and get these placed now. Alrighty. We need the underneath ones first. Mimi said, your handwriting is so much better, cooler than mine. Isn't that funny? I'm like, okay, all righty. You guys have asked, some people have asked for my handwriting in a font. So I just need to do a little bit of research on that. But that should be something that will be an option coming in 2023. So it would be a font that you could purchase, and then you could just really spell anything that you want in your, as long as you're using your computer, I guess, to do your work. Ooh, that one can go, how about one part's under and one part's over? Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. So a little bit overlapped, right? They're a little bit overlapped. And I need to do, let's see, that's going to go there. This guy needs to have rounded corners on the outside. Well, that's just me. I like to have rounded corners on the outside because the inserts that I use have rounded corners. Ooh, that didn't work very well. That was not a very rounded. Oh, it's because that piece is sticking out the edge. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I think I will go ahead and adhere this guy now. One thing I wanna be very conscious of, this inside edge right there, I am going to actually grab a different adhesive. I'm going to grab some double-sided tape, and I will put that double-sided tape right along that edge. The reason I want to do that is because, remember when we talked a minute ago about how I need to have whatever I'm adhering here needs to kind of round that bend a little bit. I need to make sure I have strong adhesive there and as close to the edge as I can get it so that it's not going to try to lift. And I might as well just use all of that. So 1/4 inch, I'm using 1/4 inch, you could use 1/2 inch, whatever you have. I do sell a version of that on my website. All right, so I am going to show you a little trick. If you have ever used double-sided tape like that before, or like that before, sometimes it's kind of unnerving because you basically have one shot without the trick. You basically have one shot to get that piece down and to get it down straight, right? Because it's super sticky. It's very hard to remove the little protective backing and then get it on straight. So what I'm doing right here, I'm just revealing part of the adhesive, right? I'm just revealing part of that. I have little pieces that I can have access to once I adhere that down. So I am going to come in and put this. Ooh, that guy didn't work very well either. Let me get that fixed on my corner rounder. All right. Wow, Layle. There we go. Maybe I should have a sip of wine to help me. All right. So I can start to adhere this down, figure out the placement, and look I can totally move it because I just have a little bit of sticky. So I can totally move it until I get it where I want it. That looks pretty good. Then I can come in and gently peel that rest of that backing away. Okay, gently peel the rest of the backing away. That, if you use double-sided tape like that in your traveler's notebooks, if you use it in your mini books, any of your projects, that you guys will help so much. Now, what I really should have done was also do that along this side. So I'm just going to lift that back up for a second, like so, and it needs to go along this edge. Because it's staying down fine. The base I put down is staying down fine, but now that edge was trying to lift up a little bit. All right. Again, I'll reveal just a little bit of it. I don't know if we've talked about this, you guys, since we've been together last. I can't remember when I posted it, but If you missed it, there is a new how-to video here on my YouTube channel about how you stitch your traveler's notebook back together when you're done with it. All right, so look, I'm almost done. As soon as I'm done, well, not as soon as, but at some point in the near future, when I am done with this, I will take it all apart. I will restitch it back together with a new cover. So, and the reason I do that is because this is what starts to happen. When you get a full and very chunky traveler's notebook, your pages will start to pop out from the staples. So, if that's happened to you before, I encourage you to go watch that video because I walk you through step by step exactly what I do when I recover and why I recover. And I've got to do my little outlining because, you know, that's just one of the things I do. Whoopsie. And then I will do some outlining over here as well. The outlining is very much meant to look not straight. All right, I can get it pretty straight, but if I wanted it straight, I'd use a ruler. I rarely use a ruler when I'm doing my outlining. Okay, guys, we're going to cross our fingers. It sounded like Nick just walked out the door. So if he walked out the door, I may not. Hopefully we don't lose our sound. Okay, hopefully we don't lose your sound. And if I do, just know that I'm still here and I'll pop in the chat with my little typing fingers and tell you I'm still here, and then we'll wait until he gets it situated. Okay, so let's look at, I think we need something else over here, right? I think I might like to put something, oh, okay. This is a sticker from the sticker book. So that could be fun if I put this up here. Aha. So that if I put up there, that ties in really well with the bows over there. So I think we're going to do that. There we go. We'll add that little bow sticker. And let's see what else that we have. We might want to put something in here. Let's see. Maybe some words. Jingle all the way might look nice there. Documenting the holidays. Oh, okay. So that would work. If you didn't want to stamp something like that, look at, if you have this documenting the holidays, that would be a great title for your list. These, this is the sticker book. Some word strip stickers. Yes, honey. You what? Oh, she is. He came in. Oh, what a man. What a keeper. Did you guys hear that? He came in seeing if I needed wine. Look it. I haven't even had a sip yet. So let's all take a hydration break. Whatever kind of liquid beverage that you are hydrating with, just take a little hydration break, okay? I'm hydrating with wine. I know that sounds very wrong, that we shouldn't hydrate with wine. Well, if you're trying to hydrate, usually something other than wine is good, but I'm not trying to hydrate. I'm just trying to enjoy a beverage. All right, let's see. What if one of these little trees went over here? I don't think so. Maybe I'll just put it on. There's a tree. So in this picture, this was on the 24th. Usually we have a tradition in our family where we go snowshoeing on Christmas Eve day. We did not go snowshoeing because I was still not feeling 100%. So we went snow hiking. Now, I know that sounds kind of funny, snow hiking. We basically went out to the mountains with our snowshoe poles, which are like ski poles. Excuse me for a sec, sorry. Someone the other day, actually this has happened quite a bit lately. People say, well, hold on, Layle, what's snowshoeing? And I say, oh, well, let me show you what snowshoeing is. I won't actually show you, but this is the easiest way. We talked about this last night when we set up our traveler's notebooks for the month of January. Those are snowshoes. Well, that's a sticker of snowshoes. If you think of a large tennis racket, that's kind of what a snowshoe is. It's kind of like a large tennis racket where you have the base, kind of the end of the snowshoe, and then you have the racket part or the webbing. There's a little, usually like a little binding right there that you just tuck your little snow boot in and then tighten it. and only your toe is attached. So your heel can lift freely. Like if everybody lift your heels right now, keep your toes on the ground and lift your heels. That's basically the motion of snowshoeing, so that you are using that base of the shoe to walk on the snow so that your legs don't sink into the snow. That's what snowshoeing is. So we did not go snowshoeing. We just went on a little hike with our poles and sunk a little bit into the ground. But that is that photo. This was about, I don't know, this is probably 10 minutes from our house. Big mountains, and yeah. All right, so there we go. I might add something else. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's go ahead and list. How about that? Oh, I know. Somebody was just asking. Scrapinology, yes. This is a black tray from the We Are Memory Keepers project cart. That's really easy for me to bring things in and out of camera that way without kind of having to make a huge mess. I can just set the tray off to the side. All right, so 6 things that were part of December. Let's see what they are. Oh, this is a big one because I have to do this one. University of Utah won the Pac-12 championship game. Now that's football. I didn't write football there, but that's okay. Next up, let's see. Another thing. Oh, yes. Sam, our youngest son, turned 22, and we celebrated with dinner. And we made gingerbread houses. Well, Sam and his girlfriend did. Nick and I watched. Let's see. Oh, another one. So this is kind of a fun one. My hometown, where I grew up, Park City, that is in Utah. Park City was featured on the Today Show as one of the top Christmas towns, I guess. So that was kind of fun. We had 2 really big winter storms with lots of snow. I took a trip. I went to Leavenworth, Washington, with my friend Michelle. Leavenworth is a little Bavarian town in central Washington in the Cascade Mountains, about 3.5-hour drive from Spokane. And it is the coolest place to be at Christmas time. It was so cool, like Bavarian Village. Oh my gosh, so fun. Anyhow, that is another thing that was part of December. And then, let's see, we'll say Christmas Eve day, we went snow hiking. Okay, so pretty simple list. Well, not really a pretty simple list. There was lots going on, but all I did was document some of the things that happened during the month of December. All right, so now I still feel like, I don't know, this is pretty plain Jane. One thing I am going to do, I'm going to outline my photo. I switched pens. You may have noticed I put my Sharpie down and I picked up a Zig photo signature marker. If you have ever tried to write on a photo before, sometimes you start out, and it depends on the pen that you have. It starts out great, and then the ink kind of stops writing because it is reacting to the photo paper. A photo signature marker does not do that. It is meant for writing on a photo. So in this case, my writing, all I'm going to do is outline. But if I wanted to write on the photo, like up here, I had some light in the sky, I could write up there if I wanted. That might be kind of fun. But I'm just going to use mine for outlining. It just seemed like it needed a little bit of a something. Well, I always think you need outlining, so No surprise there. No big shocker there that I'm outlining. Okay, there we go. That also on my website. Well, both, the little Sharpie and then that photo signature marker. All right, so I think it's pretty well done. The only thing I need to do is add the date. For a long time, I was really good, you guys, about always reminding us to date our lists. Always really super important. And then sometimes I forget. I have a Traveler's Notebook idea coming out in 2023. Idea book. That book part is important. I have a Traveler's Notebook idea book coming out in 2023. There we go. And it will have photos of many of my lists to give you lots of ideas and inspiration. Before I sent those off to be photographed, all of my books, I went through and I needed to make sure that every list was dated because they won't all be together in the idea book, right? Like all the Christmas ones will be together in the idea book or all the holiday ones, but you could have a 2021 next to a 2022 one. So I had to go back through and add dates to all my lists. So just kind of a public service announcement. Always a good idea to date your lists, okay? Because you're doing like a little mini, like a little time capsule. So you should always date. And I think for here, I'll keep it pretty simple. Sometimes I use a roller date stamp. Sometimes I bring in a little label or two. But I think all I will do here is, this was December 24, 2022. So just a little date right there. Now, I feel like I need one more thing. I am going to add a word strip sticker. When in doubt, add a word strip sticker. That is what I say. Always when in doubt, add a word strip sticker. It seems like I just have a little bit of extra space right there that needs a little something. So I am going to grab my word strip stickers. Lots of word strip stickers. I use them often. I like them. I have a pretty good assortment of word strip stickers on my website. There is a link that says word strip stickers that will take you to all the little word strip stickers. I think I'm going to do black. So let's see what we have here. Live, create, tell the story. That would work. We're just looking. It's the little things that make life big. That could work. I have a defective, just so you know, I have a defective cut off over here. So let's see. Collect beautiful moments. That would be nice. Dream is a wish your heart makes. Create, you must be present to win. That's kind of a good one. I kind of like that one. You must be present to win. Right? That can kind of take on another meaning besides winning, like a giveaway. You must be present to win. You've got to participate in life, right? Look it. It's exactly what it needed. Blank, just kind of boring, blah, word strip sticker. Ding, 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 right? That's exactly what we needed. You must be present to win. All right, there we go. There is our first list. Okay, next up. Our next list is things I did well this year. All right, you guys, that's a really important list that I really want to encourage you to do. Even if you don't normally list with me, it doesn't have to be fancy. You could just write it, make a note on your phone and just write out the things that you did well. You guys, sometimes it's not a very easy exercise. Let me just hold this up so you can see a little bit closer. Sometimes it's not a very easy exercise. Sometimes you really have to rack your brain. And that's just because we're people, right? Sometimes it's really easy for us to identify the things that we didn't do well. A little bit harder to dig deep and focus on the things that we did do well, right? So this is the type of list that I like to do at the end of a year or the start of a new year. Sorry, you couldn't see the bottom of that. I like to focus on the good. We'll focus on the bad next, but this is focusing on the good. Things I did well this year. So for this list, it is a double page spread. Guess what? I don't have any more room for double page. That means I am moving to a new insert. I have a stamp set, can't remember if it's February or if it's April. New stamp set coming out at some point next year to help you deal with the last page in an insert. So kind of keep that in mind, because if you have a single page list that works there, great. But if not, you kind of want to end it, then you'll have something to do that. Same thing for, oopsie, what did I lose? Same thing for starting a new list. Oh, my little guy there. Okay, let me just put this away. Let me put these away, okay? So I'm not wondering where they are next time I want to use them. All right, move these off to the side. New insert. So this one is off to the side, and this is also a double page spread. So I'm skipping that first single page, moving to double page spread. Things I did well this year. So I have a new stamp set that just started. I have 5 new stamp set that just started shipping. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Just started shipping yesterday because Monday the post office did not deliver any mail. They did not come. So hang on for a moment. Where are those? Where are the ones that I've used before? Hang on. Let me just look at one of the trays. Yes, here we go. This is left over from when we did. This is left over from when we were doing our What's New Wednesday. All right, one of the stamp sets that is new. And you can see all the new ones on my website. This one is called All the Things. Okay, it is called All the Things. The idea behind, excuse me, the All the Things stamp set is so you can document all the things. Your favorite things about fall, spring, this year, last year, winter, summer, this month, last month. Things you're looking forward to next month, next summer, next fall, next spring, next year. Things you'd like to do over, forget, do again. Things you did well, things you dislike, things I dislike, remember, learned, appreciate, wish, believe. Anyhow, that stamp set is called All the Things. So you can document lots of different things. It's one of our list builder stamp sets designed to help you build your lists. And I will be using this stamp set for my second list. And that list again is things I did well this year. So look what I can do. I have things and then I can do did well this year. So it's kind of a building set, right? All of your basic little sayings, my favorite things about, things I'm, things I'd like to, things I, those are all in a really basic plain font. And then all the rest of the stamps are in my writing. So that is the stamp set I will be using to start out this list. Alrighty. I will also be using some of the die cuts from, that's what you see here, now all messed up. Some of the die cuts from the Simple Stories Life Captured collection. This one is super fun, you guys. Simple Stories at the start of, not at the start of every year, but at the end, towards the end of a year, they always come out with a collection like this that helps you, just it's kind of a generic, a generic collection for documenting lots of different things, different parts of the collection. There are months that are little titles that are months. You have different icons. You have lots of stickers. The stickers, let me just show you in the sticker book. You have your icons. You have some circles. You have a craft block letter, word strip stickers, which you know I love. In the sticker book, you also have the numbers. Notice you have 1 through 12. If you're documenting months, January through December. Kind of washy looking strips, tabs, little signs, and some little like journaling spots. So I will be using some of the numbers from this collection And let's see where they all went because they were all here. I had to do my flat lay, do the photography for this on Monday, and then I taught a class last night. So then I had to move it all, and that was a whole other thing. I don't think I have ever done this. I think last night was the very first time I did this. I got mixed up in my head, and I was a half an hour late to class here on YouTube. It was supposed to start at 5 Pacific, and I thought it was 5:30. So some lovely, very patient folks sat around and waited for me for a half an hour. And I felt so silly. I had even double checked before, but I double checked in the wrong place. All right, where is my 6? Because I have 6 things that I did well. Well, 6 things I'm going to document. Oh, there it is. There's our 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to start laying things out. I need my title. My title will go here. And then I can work in some icons. So let's start with, we'll kind of let those things sit there for a minute, and let's get that stamp set back out again. I also had pulled out the washi from the collection. So I will probably use a little bit of that down at the bottom just to bring a little bit of color in. All right, let me get stamping block. Starting out with things let me use a little one. If I wanted, I could get out one of the bigger blocks, and if I wanted to stamp it all together, let's look. Just gonna kind of throw them down first, and then I'll move things around. Things I did well. Grab those. Things I did well this year. Now, if you're doing this list in 2023, then you also have the word last. If you were doing it like at the beginning of January. So let's see, this is so weird for me to do this, like I said, because normally I would just write this out, wouldn't I? Normally I would just write this out like this, okay. Nope. Need to go over here. I'm going to explain why I was moving things around in a sec, okay? No. Oh yeah, no, we're good. All right, let me just show you. I might as well show you what I'm doing. With this block, it's fairly wide. I want to make sure that my stamps are all aligned here. I don't want my stamps to be aligned here because I don't want to get in the habit of having my stamping block span both pages. If I do that, right now it's not too bad because they're both pretty flat. But if I do that later, I'm going to get a really weird stamped image because this side is going to be higher than this side. So I try to keep it just a little bit of trial and error here, friends. All right, let's start with that. Things I did well this year. All right, things I did well this year. Now, I need to reposition the things and the things I'm going to have sit right between the did and the well. All right. All right, you guys. So I talked earlier when we started about I talked earlier about giveaways. I said, ooh, I don't want that guy to get lost. I said for the giveaways, I wanted you to leave a comment on the video when it was over. And I wanted you to tell me what is something that you did well this year. Now, I also want you to tell me in the chat so I can see. I want you guys to tell me in the chat what's something you did well this year, okay? You're the one who gets to decide what that means, right? I don't know what is well for you. It could mean you set a goal to read a lot of books and you read a lot of books. You get to decide. So tell me, do. All right, what I'm going to do, I felt like I needed something a little bit to play with up there, have a little bit more color. So I'm going to come back now and reposition this year. So it's kind of a stacked title here. Like that, things I did well this year. And then my little bird will just be right there. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's get out our stamping notebook. Tell me, now it's time to brag, you guys. And like I said, it could be that you read a book, that you read 10 books. You set a goal to read 10 books and you read 4. But that's more than you've ever read in a year before, so that's a good thing. Jackie lost 15 pounds. Good for you. Congratulations. Brooke said, I feel like I became a better wife and mom this year. Very good. Shanner said, I stopped going to the Dollar Tree and read more. Good for you. Ooh, somebody lost 30 pounds in 9 months. Lisa, wonderful. Good for you. Always good to work on our health. Sarah helped her dad to be active. They went to Alaska. Scrappy Miss, I procrastinated really well this year. Guess what? That is absolutely okay to say you did well, right? Absolutely okay. Totally. Kathy designed and created a new craft room this year. I love it. Joy sang the national anthem. Yes, you did. Dawn read 100 books and lost 30 pounds. You guys, I love this. Joy read through the Bible. A Scrap of Lisa went back to university at 46. Brooke said, congratulations, y'all. You guys, seriously, congratulations. Look at all of these things. Even if you have not responded in the chat, I know there's something that you can, even if you don't want to type it in the chat, you better right now be telling yourself, you better be saying out loud that you did this. I did this really well this year. Even if you procrastinated really well, totally okay. Lorraine completed 3 scrapbook albums that had put off for more than years. Yes. Jane took care of her husband when he was dealing with a kidney stone and had 2 surgeries. Missy went back to work. Mimi read 2 books a month. Pat finished her grandson's first scrapbook. I know I can barely keep up with you guys. I love it. Irene got healthy, lost weight, and improved her cholesterols. Pamela read 83 books. Christina didn't do much spending, saving for a vacation. Beth finished a granddaughter's scrapbook. She's 10, and she just finished her first year. So you guys see lots and lots and lots of good things. Now, I love that you're telling me in the chat because I want to hear. I want to see, and we should all be able to congratulate each other. But I also want you to comment on the video when it's over, because that is how I will draw. Just random. That's how I'll draw one of the prize. Mariana traveled 43,000 air miles this year. You traveled well. Mariana, I traveled well too. That's one of the things on my list. Let's see. Joy finished her December documented. Well, almost. That is a huge task. Congratulations, Joy. Tabitha reorganized all her scrapbooks by year, dating back to 2007. Hi, Rena. Yes, you guys, everyone is awesome. Totally awesome. All right, things I did well this year. Now, let's talk about placement. Let's talk about stamp placement. I got this stamp and the did. I got them almost as close together as I could. Debbie retired. Yes, good for you. Congratulations. Love it, love it, love it. So I got the physical stamps as close together as I could when I stamped them all together on the stamp set. For me personally, I generally like my stamps to be tucked up a little closer together. So even though I put them all together on the stamp block, that's one of the reasons why I tested. Once I see that out stamped, I'm like, ooh, I think I would like it a little bit better if I switch that up a little bit. So I am going to stamp those individually. 1 row, 2 row, 3 row. So I am going to now move all of those again. And it's a process, right? It's a process. It's a lot of trial and error sometimes. And that's what we're doing. We are doing trial and error. And I always like to do that with you guys because I think it always helps, or I hope it always helps, to hear another person's thought process on why they do something or didn't do something, right? I'm not magic. I don't have all the answers. I just try things. And if I like the way it looks, then there we go. I like it. And if I don't like it, then I'm like, oh, I need to change that. So I think it helps sometimes to talk about why. So let's do things I right there. I am a little bit type A when it comes to this. So even though I already stamped it once, I am going to stamp it again. Test. Yep, there we go. Couple things, you guys, when you're working with a really small stamp like that, small, teeny tiny letters, you want to pay attention to your the amount of pressure that you put on a stamp when you are stamping. So let's just look at this really quick. If I press down really hard, I'm going to do 2 stamped images here. I'm really going to exaggerate that. All right. So when I press down really hard, look what happens to my letters. They kind of squish out. You see in the things how those letters are kind of squished out a little bit? And then when I just apply regular old even pressure on the things down below, it's not squished. So you want to pay attention when you're working with smaller stamps, very fine, intricate stamps like that, the amount of pressure that you are applying. That's another thing that you can use a little, your test book or test paper for. Apply different pressure until you get a feel for the look that you want. All right. So let me grab did I put it away? Oh, yes, I did. Now I have a fairly flat, it's flat surface there, but I always like to be in the habit of doing that. If you're in the habit, then you hopefully don't forget. All right, so let's put this here. Little bit uneven. I got a little bit too much pressure on the T. That's okay. And then we can do did well. Oh, did well does not fit on that. So let's go to one of our other blocks where it will fit. Did well. One of the how-to videos that you'll see me do in January is a video on stamping techniques. Not techniques. I shouldn't call it techniques because it's not techniques. I'm not necessarily going to show you how to mask things off and do something really cool. I'm going to show you some of my tried and true tips for successful stamping. So you can stay tuned for that in next month in January. All right, so now let's get that inked up again. And let's do here. Things I did well. And then I really should be cleaning these as I go, but I'm not. Now I will do this here separately. And I can get this here now in tight. I can get that nice and tight spacing that I want. That is why I separated all those stamps. I can even come down and go, okay, where can I fit that? Ooh, guess what? The H can kind of fit right up in there between the D and the I. So I like that. Okay. I've got some ink on my hands, and that's usually not a good thing. I should have my wipes, but I didn't grab them yet. All right, so then we're going to put this guy right there. Things I did well this year. So let's look at the difference. Stamping those separately in 3 separate lines or rows versus having them all stacked together. So that's what it looked like when they were all stacked together. And there was just space. I could not get any closer because of the stamps themselves. They have a little bit of a border around them. The polymer has a little bit of border around them. So you can't quite get as close. But then when I put that up here, let's see. Let me try to put those next to each other just so you can see. See the difference? Just, they're just a little bit tighter, a little bit in tighter. That's why I did what I did. All right. So now we can get our letters back in here. Things I did well this year. Whoops. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. 1 over here. 2, 3. If we can't brag on ourselves, then who can, right? 4, 5, and 6. All right. So we'll start like that. But I think that I want to put, like I said, I think I want to put some washi along the bottom just to give it a little bit more color. Can't remember if I swatched these before. Well, not even swatched them, but sometimes I do this just while we are, so I can kind of look at them together. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to see them on the roll. Oh yeah, that one for sure has to be there. These two I think could be cute together. These are the washi from the Life Captured collection. Those two together. I like those two together. I think this one will probably just be a little too busy. I mean, it sure is. Oh, I like it though. Look at that. That's kind of nice. Let's see. The cameras, I love the cameras, but I won't use the cameras. And then there's this guy too. Let me look at this one. This is kind of green. Looks like it has a little bit of a light blue polka dot, but I don't think it's light blue. I think it's just, oh yeah, no. Okay, for sure. I like the hearts. All right, so let's put those two together and we'll come back in along the bottom. Let's see. Oh, I missed Joy. Good night, Joy. Karen gifted all the ladies some. Oh, I missed part of that. Something. I missed part of what you did. All right. I'm trying to go too fast. Let's start that again. You guys notice that I just started a new insert and technically I'm still in 2022. So I just keep on going. Doesn't matter where I start and stop. I just keep on going. When it's time to go in a new insert, that's when I go into a new insert. Some people though, I know will try to time things and you may not start this list in a new insert. You may try to get it in to one of your existing inserts if you like to do that. But I just let all mine run together. It's just when a new one, when one ends, a new one starts. My list is here, Layle. I missed it. I don't know. I missed part of it. And then we'll just put a little bit of blue right there. Move that little guy out of the way. We should have a nice little border to add some color. All right. Now I will come in and do my outlining and then I will get those numbers set. One thing that I did not worry about when I did my stamping here, that normally I worry about. Always a good idea before you start stamping to look at the page before what you are stamping on. The reason is, depending on the thickness of the paper in the insert that you're using, depending on the stamp itself. If you're using, let's pretend like this was a stamp. If this was a stamp and I stamped that in black, that's a lot of solid black there. depending on the color I'm using, sometimes you will get shadowing or ghosting on the back side. So you can see there, because of that black, I do have a little bit of shadowing or ghosting on the back side of this page that I'm working on. Always, always, always double check that before you start stamping. Because if I had already created, oh, sorry, you can't see that. Maybe you could see that a little bit, but I was a little bit too high on the camera. Let me bring that down. Make sure you can see that. Always double check, because if I had done a list on this paper, I didn't put anything down first, and then I had it all nice and pretty, and then I came over here and stamped, I could have completely kind of ruined this list because of that shadowing or ghosting. So always check before you start stamping on what happened before. Now, if I had, in this case, done a list here and written it right on this page, no problem. If I wanted to stamp here, I would probably just take some white cardstock and have the base of my list be white cardstock so that I'm stamping on the white cardstock and not the page. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, I think this guy, oh no, I don't know. Normally I would start over here. Yeah, I have to start there. That's just too weird in my head. Too weird. All right, so I want these guys to get in there like that. All right, let's put those guys down. I am not going to use my tape runner for these guys because it will be a little bit harder for me to get the tape on those smaller pieces. So I am using a glue pen. I have a couple different glue pens on my website. I use them for different things. This one is a chisel tip, so it's a little bit wider. Basically, I'm just writing with glue. There is a ballpoint, so much finer. If I have a very thin, narrow die cut, like let's say this guy, I don't want to try to use my tape runner to get that little stem of that flower. I want to use like a little glue pen because it makes it a lot easier. Again, going back to the right tool for the job. That makes life infinitely easier. Okay, maybe we'll do this guy right about there. Now, you might have more than 4 things. Maybe you only have 2 things. You do you, up to you. Up to you on what you want those to be. But this may be something you have to think about. I always have to think. I always have to think every year because it's not, like we talked about, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to like brag on ourselves, right? But we have to. We need to document the things that we do well for posterity. Time capsule, right? Wouldn't it be fun if you had a list like this from when you were 20 years old? I sure wish I had a list like this when I was 20 years old. It'd be really interesting to see what I thought I did well. All right, I am going to use my little metal ruler. I think I'm going to make some boxes to kind of hold in my, my little journaling here. Normally, I'm not going to do it. Normally, I take a pencil first. Hopefully, I'm not sad that I didn't take a pencil first. Okay, there we go. For 2. I have a mini book coming out next month using this collection. So it will be generic. It'll be really generic. I won't be using anything that has to do with the months. It'll just be kind of, it's a fun collection with really fun like icons and things like that. So that is how I will be using. That's what the mini book will be about. So stay tuned for that. Oopsie. Got a little bit too long there. It's okay. I can fix it. That's usually why I might come in with a pencil first. That's all right though. All right, we'll start with those 3. Now what I might do, and I will freehand this so it's not so stark. We'll do a double outline box. How about them apples? Double outline box. Outlining. If you notice, I do not move the, well, at some point I move, right? But I just use the base of my hand to try to keep it really straight and help give it some guidance. But I don't then try to go this way. I will rotate it. I find it a lot easier to do a horizontal line than a vertical line, okay? Just a little tip when it comes to outlining if you like to outline or want to try outlining and don't want to use a ruler. Sometimes a ruler works, but sometimes I don't feel like a ruler kind of gets in the way. And I'd like it to be a little bit more freeform. Okay, oopsie. This guy, there we are, going back to our horizontal line. Alrighty. You guys listing with me? I'm curious. Are you listing? Or are you just hanging out and doing another craft project? Or just hanging out? Let's see. Oh no. Evalicious Crafts telling the story about how she came down with the COVID. Darn it. So careful in not getting it the past 3 years. Your twins were exposed last week at school. Your husband, your twins. Oh no. And you lost your sister from it. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. That is devastating. It is devastating. I don't know, you guys. I don't know that any of us would have thought that we'd still be here 3 years, almost 3 years later, right? Almost 3 years later still. It's just horrible. Horrible, horrible. I'm sorry, Evalicious Crafts. I feel like I should know your name now. I probably do. I'm sure I know your name. It's just that I don't remember it. Oh, whoopsie. See what I did? I just went around the 5. Ms. L is hanging out coloring. Denise is hanging out watching and learning. Jane's just hanging out. Carolyn's working on next year's journal. Mimi is listing, doing what I'm doing. Lovely, lovely. Samantha, do I use stencils sometimes? Sometimes I do. Well, I should say sometimes. A few times I do. Stencils with ink. Right? Stencils with ink. So if I wanted to make this a little bit more colorful, that would be a really easy way to get this list to be more colorful without having to bring in any pattern paper or any stickers, right? I could take, let me just grab something. Where are they? There's a whole drawer full of them somewhere. Here. Oh goodness, Layle. Oh, I remember. I put them away in a container. So all of these stencils, and most of these I have on my website. So I could take any of these stencils and make a nice pattern background if I wanted, even something really small like that. Or even, let's say, let me look. If I wanted to do, I won't do this, but I will illustrate it. I'll show you. I could take a stencil like that. And I'll just do this over here on my little tester notebook. I could take my, where's the highlighter tape? Hold on. Things are a little bit discombobulated. this month just because I am working in 2 different craft rooms. One upstairs, one downstairs. Well, it's not really a craft room downstairs. I just have a table set up where I've been working on my December daily. So I don't know where my highlighter tape is right now. So I'm just going to take a little bit of washi to temporarily hold that stencil down. And I will grab, I think we need that one. And I already know what color I'm going to use, but if I didn't know what color I was going to use, and let's say I wanted to match that little bird, I would go through my swatches that I swatched all my inks with my Swatch This ink. Ooh, I thought it was going to be Tattered Rose. It's not. It's closer to Spun Sugar. But you know what? I don't need to match it. So maybe if I just wanted something really subtle, we could still go back to Tattered Rose. Let me get the ink out. Tattered Rose. Hang on. Hold on. All right, now I need to get out the foam blender. Oh, Spun Sugar. That's what I want. Spun Sugar will be, I think, a better one. So let's go to that guy. It looks like it might be a little bit more suited to that. So Spun Sugar, I'm getting out my Spun Sugar, a little foam blender. This little kit is, oh, perfect. This is the second prize I have for tonight. This little kit is a kit that I have on my website that lets you, gives you all the base things that you need to set up your store and organize all your little blenders. So I knew that that was the blender for Spun Sugar because it said Spun Sugar there. And when I opened it up and pulled it off, Spun Sugar there. So I'll show you this really quick and then we'll talk about another prize. Let's get this out of the way. So now, if I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a background, I'd take my little foam blender on the tool, get a little bit of ink on that little blender, and I could just kind of very subtly maybe come into a couple of different areas and apply that color, okay? So I'm using a circular motion on the stencil, and let's pull that off. And look it. So I just have some super subtle little circles from where I applied that ink on that stencil. So sometimes I do use stencils, and if I do, that's usually how I would use them. You can see that ink is so light. I didn't press too hard. But I could come in and apply just a couple, maybe a little up there, a little down here. You know what? Should we just do it? Should we just do it? I think let's just do it. Let's just add a little. I could add a little bit like, okay, just a little bit right there to that little box. Ooh, okay, look it, subtle, super subtle, right? I know, do it, just super subtle. I can come in and let's add maybe some along this little bottom part right here. Just a little bit, look at, just little tiny polka dots. All right, maybe this one we'll do a little bit more, maybe just outside of the 2. Maybe just right there. I prefer when doing this technique to use a domed blender, okay? A domed blender, see how that is domed? As opposed to a flat blender. A flat blender, sometimes you get really sharp edges in your ink. And so I generally don't like that look. So let's go maybe down here. Circular motion, circular motion. the harder I press, the more ink is going to deposit through that stencil, right? So you can see there's a little bit more ink. It's a little bit darker there than maybe it is up there. Subtle. It's really subtle, but that's just probably me. I'm just a little bit more subtle. Well, in some things, not in all things, but some things. When it comes to like this, like mixed media ing, that's what we're doing here. I'm a little bit more timid. So just subtle. I like subtle. There we go. And then I need to do number 6. Whoopsie, I need to do number 6. Okay, guys, so guess what? Another giveaway. That giveaway is this box. So it is one of the ink blending foam storage. I can't remember what I call them. It is one of the kits. And so the kit comes like this. You have your storage box. You have 42 punch circles. You have 40 of the little Velcros. The little Velcros are what hold your little foam blenders into place. And then you have 2 sheets. They go back to back. So that's one side. That's the other side. That will hold up to 40 of your little blenders. I double bought. Look it. I double bought inks. So I have, from my stash, a forest moss and a rusty hinge that is also going with that. So 2 inks and that little storage kit. That is second giveaway for tonight, or for this video. You guys leave a comment on the video when it's over. And when we are together next, right before we're together, I will draw the winner for that. Just random, based on comments. I just draw random comments. Those were a really fun. That storage tool, you guys, is really fun. I did that in conjunction with my friend Amy Sonneman. Amy brought that idea to me and said, hey, I want to share this with you. This is an idea that I've had, and I think you should turn it into a product. And I said, oh my gosh, that's the best idea. I would love to, because if you have a lot of these little foam blenders floating around, it's a great way to store them, because if you don't know what that is, if you don't know what color that is, you can't mix the colors. You should not mix the colors. If you mix the colors, you're going to get different effects. If you want to mix color, you're better off taking one blender, doing your ink, then taking another blender, doing your ink and doing your mixing that way. You don't want to use the same blender, because the blender is now contaminated with both of those ink colors. The other thing that's important when it comes to not contaminating your blenders like that, you do not want to use the same blender, even if it's the same color. You don't want to use the Distress Oxide and the Distress Ink on the same blender. They have 2 very different properties, and you will cross-contaminate if you mix them on the same blender. So just a few things that I've picked up along the way, learned when it comes to working with inks and things. I am by no means an expert. You guys know I am not a mixed media queen. I am not my friend Vicky Boutin. I dabble. And you guys usually have to say, no, do it, do it, do it. And then I dabble, because I'm, I like to live in a square box. Okay, there we are. So just a little bit. That's kind of fun, right? Just add a little bit of color. But stencils can be really fun that way. To kind of either create your own background or give a little bit of, just a little bit of added accent. You should clean your stencils when you're done with them. And generally, if you just take like a wipe or a wet paper towel, you can clean that off. You don't want to leave that ink on there. But do I have one handy? I don't know if I have one handy. Yeah, things are all over. So that'll just get put away for now. Well, it'll get thrown on the floor. How about that? It'll get thrown on the floor. Okay, so now we need to do our list. Yeah, Patty said, I love the blender storage kit. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? That is 100% true in that case. All right, so I think I am ready now to write my list. Things I did well this year. I kept moving. Okay. I started doing step bet challenges in August and have worked my way up to 11,000 plus steps per day, 3 days a week. Whoops, 4 days a week. That's 4 days a week, not 3 days a week. I'm just going to use my little white gel. Do I have my other one? Posca. I'll use the Posca. That'll work a little bit better. Using my white pen to basically erase right over the top of that. And then I'll write over the top of it in black. 4 days per week. And, oh, why did I write a dollar sign there? Layle, what was I thinking? You don't necessarily win money. You just don't lose your money. 13 plus K steps 2 days a week. I am a very competitive person. If you know me, you know that. Vicki would tell you I'm a very competitive person, especially with myself. So you tell me I'm in a challenge and I need to hit a number, I will hit a number. I will not hit the number, even if I'm walking around the hotel halls for an hour at night because it's 12 degrees outside. I will hit that number. So yes, I kept moving. Starting in August, I was really, really good about keeping moving. That's one of the things I did well this year. Another thing, every year, this is always on my list. Because I think it's important to recognize when we're doing things well. Especially this one for me, I'm very proud of. Things I did well this year. I continued to grow my business. I will hit 14% growth over 2021. I had this number, you guys, 9.1 million. Now, those aren't my sales. I wish. Those aren't my sales. You guys are like, and I'm out. I had 9.1 million watch minutes on YouTube. On my YouTube channel. That means you guys watched me 9.1 million minutes in 2022. That is a lot of minutes. And I counted them. I released 21 stamp sets. So, yeah, I did that well this year. I did some nice things for my business this year. It's not always rainbows and butterflies, right? Not always rainbows and butterflies, but yes, something I did well this year. Now, hold on. I need to see what's happening with Christy. Christy, what did I miss? Oh, Christy. So when I was reading Patty's comment about the I Love the Blender Storage Kit, Christy, I apologize. I did not see your comment at all. Christy said she was diagnosed last week with stage 1 breast cancer. She has her first appointment with the surgeon and oncologist on Friday. Thank you, Layle, for tonight. I needed this time to relax with you and my squirrel friends. Christy, oh, deep breath, right? That is a lot. That is a lot. You can look at that, and if we try to be positive, you say stage 1. Stage 1 that's good. I mean, not in the grand scheme of things, but stage 1 is that's caught early, right? So just know we're all thinking about you. All the people here that are saying, we're thinking about you, just know, yes, prayers for you, and there are a lot of people thinking about you. So keep me posted if you would. I don't want to forget that. So if you're comfortable, send me an email and let me know how that goes. All right, now I've got to transition from that talk back to listing. That's really hard because I'm feeling I'm feeling for Christy, and now I got to talk about myself. So just know that's just the transition I have to make. Sorry. All right, next up. This goes back to Mariana's comment about her traveling. And I have traveled my entire life. It's always been a huge part of my life, my work, my business, and then for pleasure. Nick and I both love to travel. I counted. Nick and I did this year, we've done the end of this year, we'll do our last trip this week, 10 trips that were just trips, he and I together, just for recreational purposes, not for business. So that is something that I did really well this year. I focused on me time and us together time. We took 10 different trips together over the course of the year. So let's see, how many in Harvey did we do? We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That will be 8. 8 of those 10, you guys. 8 of those 10 trips. 8 of the 10 in Harvey. Harvey is our RV. We both really, really, really like to travel. Now we did other trips. In fact, I think there's one I missed in there. I think it was 11 because I think I missed Las Vegas. I did. 11. Anyhow, traveling is something that's really important to us. We both enjoy travel very much. So we arrange our schedules and work our budget so that we can focus on that. So that is something I did well this year. Traveled for pleasure besides traveled for work. Okay, number 4, reading for pleasure. That is so hard for me. I love to read. Like seriously, I love to read. I have ever since I was a little girl. And that's what I'm writing. Since I was a little girl. It's a guilty pleasure for me. And what I mean by that is it's a guilty pleasure for me, which means I have to make the time to do it. I read very quickly, but I feel guilty when I read because it's like taking a break, and I don't do that very well. So I read 24 books this year. 2 a month. That was my goal. I set a goal at the beginning of the year to read 2 books a month. Frozen. Okay, hang on. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, we're back. Guess what? Hang on. We're back. That was a message on my phone telling me low battery. I did plug it in, but guess what? Is it not plugged in here? Hold on, where is it not plugged into? Oh, look at you guys. I just got to show you this. So normally everything is plugged into here. Do you see? There are 2 little USB ports. There's 2 cords. Well, guess what? This is what my phone is plugged into. Whoops, not plugged in. So that is what is happening there. Let me just fix that. Colleen even said to plug your phone in. And guess what? I even plugged my phone in. I plugged it in. I just didn't plug it all the way in. All right, so we should be good now, you guys. Right? We should be good. We're back. Sorry. We're back. I know, where's Colleen? So Colleen lives on the East Coast. Colleen is probably in bed by now. We'll have to tell her. You guys will have to tell her what I did. You'll have to tell her. Oh no, hold on, Dawn. No, that was me. That was all Layle. That was all Layle. What? No, I missed something about Dawn. You guys, it probably took me a little while before I realized I was probably talking and I didn't. I was talking about reading. Long story short, I read 24 books this year, which was a big goal for me, and I did it. Dawn. Oh, yes, I know that about Dawn. Okay. Dawn, yes, Dawn has been in the middle of, she's going through this, I shouldn't say the same, a similar journey as Christy is, with stage 1 triple negative. Oh, you guys. Okay. So Terry made a great comment. Terry said, when you guys share, oh, look at Colleen's still here. When you guys share things like this, it's I really enjoy that you share those kind of things, because we have built this really neat little community here. When you share things like that, then we worry about you, right? We worry about you. So if you are in the Facebook group, it's a private group, the Layle by Mel Facebook group. If you're in the Facebook group, Terry suggested, and I love the suggestion, that you keep us updated, because it's not just me that wants to know, it's your friends. And when I mean your friends, I mean the people here that you probably never met in person, but they care about you and want to know too. So if you're comfortable with that and would like to, just kind of update in the Facebook group, that would be wonderful. That would really be wonderful. All right, number 5. This is an interesting one. This is a work in progress. A lot of this is work in progress. I am really trying to focus on managing my expectations. Okay? Managing expectations. I was having this discussion with my friend Michelle, 3 Craft Chicks, a couple weeks ago when we were together. Sometimes we put really big expectations out there. Like sometimes for Christmas, you have high expectations for Christmas Day. And sometimes your expectations are so high that there is no way in the world that they're ever going to meet your expectations. So I've been trying really hard to manage my expectations. So then if I am not putting such high expectations out there, then it's a lot easier to kind of deal with things, right? Life. I was having this conversation with my friend Kathy when she came over today. So focus on managing my expectations. An example of that, and I'm just going to write this, an example of that was my trip in December to Leavenworth. I talked about Leavenworth earlier. I very purposefully did zero research ahead of time. I've got to end this. I was pleasantly surprised. So I had heard so much about Leavenworth. I had never seen photos. I didn't do any kind of research ahead of time to see what it looked like, different times of year, because I wanted to go in completely unaware, so that I wasn't trying to, I didn't have expectations of what the town would look like because I'd seen the photos, or I didn't have expectations of this or that because I didn't know anything about it. That really made for an amazing trip for me because I didn't do a lot of research ahead of time and see all the amazing, professional photos and read the blog posts about the professional people that write for a living. My expectations could be really high. And I didn't do any of that ahead of time. So I managed my expectations and I was very happy with the outcome. So doing that this year, and we'll continue to do that more. The last thing, this one, you guys, I started struggling. I'm like, okay, I have 5 things on my list. I said, Nick, my husband, what else? What else have I done well this year? And he said, you know what you've done well this year? You've asked for help. That is something that is really, really, really hard to do for me. And I bet there are quite a few out there, that could be on your list, that you are not very good at asking for help. And maybe you needed to ask for help this year. Maybe Christy. Maybe she hasn't asked for help yet. Maybe Christy is going to need to ask for some help very soon. Dawn maybe has had to ask for some help. So that is something that I am trying to get better at, is asking for help from people when I need it. So that is the 6th thing. I am getting better at, I'm sorry. I should also try to get better at saying sorry. I say sorry a lot, and people say you shouldn't say sorry so much. I am getting better at asking for help. I try to do too much of too many things, and I can't do it all. An example of that, an example is asking Lily, the lady that works for me part-time, Lily, to start full-time next year in 2023 and teaching her how to do more. I spend lots and lots of time picking orders and packing orders. And if I can teach Lily how to do that, and shipping orders, if she can do that, then there are other things that I can focus on in my business that only I can do. So I'm trying to get better at that and taking a step towards doing that. All right, you guys, so there we go. I think maybe I need just a little bit more color in here. I also noticed that I have lots more space here than I do in between in the others. So what if I just take maybe something like that, or maybe something like, oh no. So that doesn't really solve my problem. All it does is kind of make this vertical line there, and I don't want that there. So that didn't really solve my problem. It also won't solve my problem there unless I add a few more things. So if I added that, what if I put those 2 things there? No, way too busy, right? Way, way too busy. Now it looks like I'm just trying to shove stuff in there. So I don't want to do that. If I do that, that might not be quite the right thing. Let's see what else we might have. Oh, I'm going to lose those. I should be cleaning up. I need to ask for help for someone to come help me when I'm doing this and clean up all my things as I go. Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, it might just end up, let's go to the sticker book. Let's go to the sticker book and see. I think that kind of works, but it's kind of big. So maybe we can find something else that's a little bit smaller, like maybe that little butterfly. Oh, the orange and pink butterfly is cute. There's another bird. Maybe, let's see. Bird there. Bird there? No, the bird will just look like he's just kind of there. I think, what if we do, let's just do that butterfly right there. That will be fine. Okay, we just added a little bit. Now let's put our bird back and see if there's something else that we could add, maybe just down in there. What about, oh, a little heart. So there's a little star sticker, a pin. I think there's probably not little hearts in here now. Oh, there's big hearts. I think those big hearts might be a little too big. So there are little die cuts. So what if we just do that? I think that works, but I might want a different color because that's pink and there's pink there. What if we go with a little orange guy? Oh, nope, that's too big. Too big. So guess what? We're going back with the pink guy. So let's grab the tweezers, flip that over, put a little bit of glue on it, and we'll put that right here. Just have it overlap on there a little bit. Okay, so just a little bit, right? Now, if I wanted, and this is what would happen to me, if I felt like there was a little bit too much white space in here, I could come in maybe with a little bit of, maybe just a little bit of our stencil again. Should we try it? Except, guess what I need to do? Let's see if I can get this up. I would like to actually have the stencil bleed under. Let me gently lift that up. I'm going to have the stencil kind of bleed under there a little bit. Ever so gently. All right. So, excuse me. Still need the triangle. Something down here. Yeah? I'll explain what, I will explain, oopsie, I didn't quite get that where I need it. I will explain in a minute what Karen is talking about when she says triangle. She's talking about a visual triangle. I have, did I get more on there? There, just a little bit. All right, so visual triangle. I have something here, I have something here. I need something to be over here, so I have my visual triangle. It looks a little bit unbalanced. That's what's happening down here. So I could probably take another one of my little hearts, maybe. There. And what if it was partially under the 3? Like that, maybe? I think that works. Let's do that and we'll call it good. Let's do that and we will call it good. All right, there we go. Things I did well this year. Now, I for sure need to put a date on there, right? Things I did well this year. Well, this is 2022, so I can just do 2022 like that, right? So if I'm ever looking at this list later and I'm wondering, wait a minute, when was this? What year? Layle, what year? Or if somebody picks this up, then they'll go, oh, 2022. These are things that she did well in 2022. Now I have to detail the bird, sorry. I don't like things to, I know. Mimi, that was funny. Yes, I had to take that out because I don't like things to stick out the edge. Now someone is saying put a bigger heart there. So let's look. It's not someone. Terry is saying, not someone. One of the bigger hearts. Ah, okay. Let's look. Let's look. When you guys suggest, I like to try because I think then we can all try and see if we like it. All right. So for me, scale of that is just a little bit too big. So I think I'm going to stick with the little guy. Scale of that is just a little bit too big. Now there's in-between sizes. So I could probably try to find a heart that's a little bit in between. Like, well, those are pretty close. That one is an in-betweener. In-betweener. I think I'm going to leave it. All right, there we go, guys. There we go. There's our second list. All right, we are going to do our third list because I need to do 3 lists tonight because I said we'd do 3 lists. So our third list is, I think it's going to be a single page. This is things I'd like to forget. So things I did well in 22, things I'd like to forget in 22. So I am not going to do that here. I will do that here. I am moving to a different collection. Okay. Collection I'm pulling out for this one is called The Simple Life. I have not shown this one before. I haven't shown this in one of the What's New Wednesdays. It's been out for a little bit. So I will probably take a little bit more of a deep dive into this collection on Wednesday when I do What's New Wednesday. But what I thought might be nice to do, I am pulling out the floral bits. The floral bits I think are beautiful. They are all black and white. Well, there's a little tiny bit of color in that one, but they are super neutral. And when you are doing a list that's maybe not so positive, maybe you don't want it to be all rainbows and butterflies when you're saying things I want to forget. So this is kind of a nice, subtle, beautiful artwork, right? Beautiful artwork, but doesn't necessarily like scream. I keep saying rainbows and butterflies, right? I mean, there are some butterflies, but you guys know what I mean when I say rainbows and butterflies. So super neutral. I thought this might be kind of a nice collection to use, or these pieces to use for this list. So let's take a look. I thought what I would do is I was thinking I would do like a little scene along the bottom like this. So my list is going to be up in here. So it'll be a 2-page list, but I feel like that way is just going to be a little bit too black and white. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of color. What did Vicki, you could put that on the last page of your other insert. Yes, Vicki, I absolutely could. Totally could. That would be a great idea. Except I decided I wanted to do a second page. But yes, I love, love, love your thought. All right, so let's look at this. This is the 6x8 pad from The Simple Life. And I want a little bit of color, but not a lot. I mean, it's a pretty neutral collection. I'm just looking at kind of the B-sides. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? I love that. You can see why, because of that. Let's keep looking and look at the rest of those B-sides. You know what? This is going to seem kind of weird, maybe to you, but, oh, what did they do here? They, interesting, with this pad, changed up the way that they do. My goodness, they changed up the way that they do their pads. Normally they do the first 12 designs and then they repeat. But look they are doing each together, which that's very interesting. Sorry, I knew something was off there. Not off, just different. Not off, just different. I worked for Simple Stories for 6 years. So I know a lot of things about what they do, and that just struck me as odd. All right, so I think this will kind of still keep the same neutral look, but I'm going to use this as a background for my list. And then, I don't know, you guys, we may just get part of this list done today. We may get all the base done and then finish it up later, like the list part. Okay, there we go. I trimmed that down to 4 3/4. And trimming that down to 4 3/4. I do that because the inserts that I use are 5 inches wide. So I just trim off a little so I can have a little bit of a white background all the way around, or border all the way around the outside corners of that one and the outside corners of this one. Although I should probably, do you see what I just did? I flipped that. So at least it's kind of lining up, right? Kind of lines up. So the wood grain is not fighting itself like that, but I feel like for some reason it should be like this. The reason I just flipped that, let's talk about this. The reason I just flipped that, do you see this pattern at the bottom? It seems kind of darker and heavier right there. Seems kind of darker and heavier right there. So that to me seems like it should be at the bottom. It should be lighter at the top, heavier at the bottom. So it's bottom heavy instead of top heavy. That is why I just rotated. Oh, we'll see if this mess of a room gets cleaned up before I leave town. Probably won't. I'll probably just shut the doors and then the doors will be shut. And then I come home and deal with it. All right, there we go. There's one side. Here's the other side, like so. Now we'll get these things ready. But I won't write my list on there. I will get out some white cardstock. I will be writing my list on white cardstock. And I would like that to be, if that's 4 3/4 wide, I probably want my white cardstock to be, let's look at 7, that's 8. Let's look at maybe 7.5. Trim that down to 7.5. And then let's go to 4 1/4. Let's just see what this looks like. We're just gonna make it work since I'm cutting it. All right, so these pieces, oh yeah, there we go. Just a little bit. That was a good guess. Little bit. And I will also, I don't know, I may or may not round the outside corners, but that's kind of stark, right? It's looking a little bit stark. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring in ink, but I am not going to bring in a color necessarily. Well, it'll be a color, but I am thinking that I could bring in hickory smoke, maybe? Weathered wood. Ooh, weathered wood could be pretty. Weathered wood, hickory, yep, hickory smoke. That's it. That is it. So, hickory smoke, where are you? Here we go. And I need to grab my blender. I better put this one away though. Hang on. The wood grain could work well with lines on my list, but Tara, you know me. You know me. It just, nope. I can't write it on there. I just can't. Need the white cardstock. That's just me though. That's just one of the weird little idiosyncrasies of Layle. All right. Oh, I wish I had my wipes in here because I have a little bit of ink on my hands. All right, do I want to? No, I'm not going to round the edges. So we used our little blender before when we were doing stencil, but now what I'm going to use the blender just to ink the edges. So it will take some of that kind of harshness of the white edges. It'll kind of take that away a little bit if I am inking the edges with my little foam blender. Again, I prefer using a domed foam blender as opposed to a flat edge. I definitely notice if I'm inking edges with a flat edge that you a lot of times you see that really sharp flat edge. So I use the domed ones, and the domed ones are the ones I carry on my website. And also even the little handles. There we go. See how that, okay, I'm going to hold this up, but look at the difference. Just doing that little bit of inking. Do you see how that now blends in a lot more on the left side than it does the right side? Sarah said she used to ink the edges all the time and now she outlines. So you guys know me, I usually just outline, but every once in a while, I will ink edges. And it's almost like I am taking a piece of colored cardstock and matting my white to a piece of colored cardstock, right? But this way, I don't have to have colored cardstock. I just have the ink and I can ink the edges and I kind of get the same look. But I will also come in and outline. because that's just me, you know. That's me. That's what I do. I think this hickory smoke is such a pretty color. If I wanted to do my title, although I won't, I'm sure my title will just end up being black. We'll see. Okay, there we go. And now I will outline. Terry, the domed ones are foam and the flat ones tend to be felt. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I liked the domed ones, the foam ones. All right, we can go ahead and adhere this now. So if you missed it, this list topic is things I'd like to forget for 2022. This could be a mixture of things in your life that you personally want to forget. This could also be things that happened in our world that you want to forget. So mine is a mixture of both. I can already tell you guys right now, 9:15. I'll work for, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes more, and then I will probably call it. Just because I'm getting tired and I'm getting hungry. I'm getting tired and hungry. Shannon said I would definitely round the corners. Okay, so see what I did? I rounded my outside corners. I did not round my inside corners. I didn't, did I? So, do I want to? I don't know. Well, no, I'm not going to because I'm already here. So I am here. I already did it. So yes, you could round inside corners too if you wanted. Or not inside corners, but the corners on both of the mats or where I'm writing my list, I guess. Okay. There we go. And there we go. So now I want to line these little guys up again. I think these will just be a kind of a fun little addition to the bottom. Now I kind of like the look of that split, but I need to be very strategic in where I split this because I want to split it where this little stem is not getting split. I don't want just part of that little stem on one page and part on the other because that will never work. The more full my Traveler's Notebook insert gets, that is going to cause me problems. So as I split, I want to stay clear of that stem. Like that. So if this guy goes here, then this guy could start over here, like that. And that will help to kind of join it together. All right, let's see. We need more of these guys. We need more of these guys to come back in. Let's see. Karen said, Layle, I need more standard TN inserts that are plain on your website, please, with Felicity Jane closing. I don't know where to get them now. I don't want lines and grids and dots, please. Plain. Let me look, Karen. Let me look and see what I can come up with. Karen is talking about thinner, narrower versions, standard versus standard wide. Standard wides are the ones that I use primarily. That's usually what you see me use, the wider versions. And they are 5 inches wide. Standard is 4.33 inches wide. Okay, now I need something short. How about that? There we go. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, okay, you know what I need? Oh gosh, especially for this. Where is my highlighter tape? You guys, I have to go get this, okay? Hold on. I'll be right back. Why isn't it where it belongs? Hang on. Let me just look. This is the best product in the world for this. Okay, I need to run downstairs. I'll be right back. It will only take me 1 minute. I will be right back. almost here. Now I can't get this open. All right, highlighter tape. This is highlighter tape. Okay, this is highlighter tape. Hang on. Hi, Missy Keller. Let me get this open. Oh, I hate trying to start something new like this, huh? Hold on. I promise it'll be worth the wait. It will be worth the wait. Okay, there we go. Highlighter tape. So what highlighter tape is meant for is highlighting like text in a book. So see that little part of the packaging? It shows you that that would be like text of a book. And you could take your little highlighter tape and you could highlight that text. So let's see if I wanted to highlight this. Available in 6 colors. Look at, now it's highlighted. But that's not what I use it for. This is what I use it for. I have all of these little die cuts lined up where I want them, okay? Now, if I have to start trying to pick everyone off and make sure that I put them all in the right place, they're not going to end up in the right place, right? They'll be somewhere else and I won't be happy. If I take highlighter tape, whoopsie, that was a really big piece because of that. If I take highlighter tape and I set it over the top of these pieces. So I like that there, set those together. And I now want to, I should probably set these down here too, like that. Whoops, that's exactly what I want it to do. Then over here, I need kind of all these pieces to stick together like that. We get one other little piece, maybe to stick these two together. All right, so now look at, stuck together and stuck together. Now I can turn those over in one piece, apply my adhesive. In this case, oopsie, I'm using glue pen again, just so I can get in some of those little nooks and crannies. And then turn it back over, still in one piece, and adhere like that. Get all of those pieces adhered down really well. And then I can come in, I am going to, where'd my little tweezers go? I did not put them where they belong. Oh, here they are. I can then come in and pull that highlighter tape right off, okay? That highlighter tape did not affect, it did not tear or rip the design on that paper die cut at all. And reusable, okay? This is reusable, I can keep reusing it. So usually what I do, I just put it right back onto the tape. And then when I need it again, I just pull it off. This, you guys, I'm going to show you something really cool that I don't know how I ever would have been able to do this without that highlighter tape. I mean, I'm sure I could have figured it out. I have tried washi before. Washi's hit or miss to do that. It depends on the washi. It also depends on the die cut or the paper. I've had it happen before where the washi either tears the paper underneath it. Whoopsie. What was I thinking? I didn't put that in the right place. Uh-oh. Well, oh well. I didn't quite put that over far enough. That's okay, because it's now where it's going to be. But if I've used washi, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the quality of the washi. Also depends on the finish on your die cuts or the paper. So that is a tool that comes in super handy. I'm going to show you really quick one thing that I did while I have my December daily book here. I did that on this. On this page. Okay, look at. Those are all vellum hearts. Okay, Those are vellum hearts. Shannon, you get that on my website. I have it. It's called highlighter tape. So go to laylebymail.com and search for highlighter tape and you will see it there. I did not plan on using it tonight. So it's not listed under the what I'm using, but you can just go find it on the website. But you guys see this? That is I cut a circle out of that pattern paper and then I put those vellum hearts all around the circle. But you know what I did? Before I ever cut the circle, I lined all those vellum hearts up where I thought I would want them to be. And then I just used little strips of that highlighter tape to hold all of those hearts together. And those hearts were then one piece. Like when I picked up those little flowers on the Traveler's Notebook that we're working on, I picked them up as one piece. Those little hearts were all connected together on one piece using those little strips of the highlighter tape. That way, I was then able to get them all glued where I want them and then put it down. So that highlighter tape is pretty cool. Comes in pretty handy when you're trying to do things like that. All right, so there we go. I think, you guys, that I am going to stop right there. I will finish this list. How about this? When we are together again on Saturday, January 7th, okay? But I do know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I'm doing this again. I'm going to do a double line. I just feel like it will help it have a little bit more, I don't know, design to it. And it actually, because there's looks like a lot of pen work here. Now it looks like we have a little bit of pen work on our double outline. And then I will call it a night. So I am going to, there's 2 more prizes I got to talk about too. All right, let me do this. So I am going to come over here. I'm going to turn on the overhead lights. And I'm going to turn off the studio lights. And we'll talk about, whoopsie. That one's now unplugged. All right. Press and seal. Oh, Shanner's 2762. Okay, I haven't tried that before. Press and seal. I'll have to try that. Tracy's Treasures. Guess what? I remember your email. You just sent me an email. Tracy said, I remember seeing you had made a mini album using Simple Storage Vintage Lakeside. If I recall, you showed the first 3 pages. Did you share it? I did not share it. It sold out. And so I did not do a flip through video of it. Trying to think of a way short of doing a video, how I could show you that. Let me kind of think about that. All right, I am rotating the camera. Judith, your birthday is on. Oh yeah, you told me that. You told me you're turning. I won't say the age, but you're turning a good number soon, aren't you? On the 8th, right? 8th. I'm gonna remember that. Don't let me forget that. Okay. Where were we? Oh yes, 2 more giveaways. Okay. Let's talk about those. I have to look at my little list. So tonight, you guys, are 4 giveaways. The way that you participate in the giveaways, and I did 4 tonight since we missed last Tuesday. The way that you participate in the giveaways, you come back to the video once it's over and leave a comment. What I asked you to do, now you can leave whatever comment you want, but I would love to know in the comment, tell me one of the things you did well this year. I'd love to know that, okay? Or you can just leave a comment. There will be 4 giveaways. So the first one that we talked about, was the December documented stamp set. That limited edition December documented stamp set. That was part of my December documented project kit. The second prize is one of the foam blending tool storage kits with 2 distressed oxide inks. The third prize is a winter traveler's notebook kit. Winter Traveler's Notebook Kit. So everything that you need to put your Traveler's Notebook together for the months of January and February. And I showed you guys the setup earlier when I showed you the snowshoes. That is part of it, plus some other little things that we did inside. So that's what your setup for January looks like using that kit. And this is what the setup for February looks like using that kit. Okay. And then the class that goes with it. And the fourth and final prize is a $50 gift certificate to my website. You get to buy whatever you want. Your prize is whatever you want it to be. $50. All right, so you guys, those 4 prizes again, super easy to participate. You have between now, which is Wednesday, December 28th at, 9:30 p.m. my time, Mountain Time. Between now and Saturday morning, January 7th, before 9 a.m. Pacific time, because that's when we'll get together. I will draw that morning 4 random people, 4 random comments that are left on the video once it's over to win those 4 prizes, okay? That's all you have to do is leave a comment. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Your odds could be pretty good too, depending on how many people comment. So just go do it. Go comment. While you're there, while you're here, thumbs up, please. That's super helpful. I would so much appreciate that. Okay, friends, so here we go. What are those flowers on my website? What are those flowers? Oh, those flowers. Yes, I'm like, what? Those flowers are the Simple Life, and they are the floral bits. So if you click on, go to my web, or in the description box of the video, there's a link that says what I'm using. Click on what I'm using. That will take you to the page on my website that shows you all the things I used today. You will see those in there, but they're the Simple Life. I used the Simple Life flowers and a couple papers from the 6x8 pad, but you'll see those there. Let us see here. I'm going to look at the chat for a moment. Lots of Happy New Year's. Oh my gosh, it's me, Brenda Lee, said I could watch her list all night. I love that. Thank you. I love it, you guys. I have so much fun when I'm here with you guys. I have so much fun listing. I have so much fun chatting and hanging out and talking about why we do this and not this, and then squirreling and talking about lots of other things. And I love getting to know you guys too, because you guys share a lot in the chat, and I love that. Let's see. Mimi said she had fun too. I love it. Okay, friends, so here we go. We are not together on Saturday, December 31st. I will be at the Rose Bowl. I will be in Southern California. So we will be here together January 7th. If you go to my website, laylebymail.com, click on the blog, you will see a blog post that shows you our tentative listing schedule for the first 3 months of 2023, January and February and March. So you can kind of plan when we'll be together on Saturdays. All right, friends? So we are coming upon the new year, right? We're coming upon the new year. So safe, happy, healthy rest of 2022. And I hope to see you guys again in 2023, that first January. Our list, I have my list all planned out, you guys. Look at those are the next 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks. As we start a new year, I always like to do lists that focus on, like we did tonight, things that were good, things that we did well in the past year, things that were not so good, things we want to forget. We do things we're looking forward to in 2023. We do things we want to focus on. So there's always kind of a set of lists that we do at the beginning of every year and at the end of every year to kind of get us prepped for looking backwards and then looking forward. So those are some of the things we'll be doing for the next couple of weeks. Let's see. Oh, Evilicious Crafts, not too far from Pasadena. Safe travels. Yes, thank you. If you are kind of ambivalent for football and you don't really care about it, and you don't really care if Utah wins or if, oh my gosh, I have forgot who we're playing. Pittsburgh? Pennsylvania? Penn State? I don't know. Something like that. Somewhere there. If you don't really care and you don't care about that school or that state, care about Utah. Vote for Utah, okay? Root for Utah, so we can hope that we win the Rose Bowl this year. All right, friends, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope to see you guys soon. And yeah, Happy New Year.